Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? We are here. Let me send this out. We are here with another episode of In a Row Mic Check. This is the show where we talk about the latest and greatest in the video gaming news. And man, oh man, oh man, things were getting hot and tense. No, everything was cool. The things were getting hot over in the members chat. We're gonna bring some of that members chat conversation over. I blame it all on Corey Massey, Cold Blood, as always. Shout out to Nomi Corey Massey. We are having a great discussion about PlayStation. Look, Cold Blood and I. Well, before we get into all that, Cold Blood, how are you doing, man?
Great, bro.
You had some killer ass Metaphor Refantasio streams this weekend, huh?
Yeah, bro. That last one was almost 7 hours long.
Yeah. But they're loving it, man. That's what's up, man. So what your thoughts still on the game? Have they increased? Have they dropped?
I mean, I'm still waiting for the patch where they finally have anti-aliasing in this game, but
okay.
Everything else is fucking fire, bro.
Can't wait. My hands on that game. Yeah. So
I'm not sure you're gonna enjoy that because it's a lot of talking. It's less than talking.
I did notice that.
If you can get it at some point in Game Pass or something, okay, maybe. But I don't know if you should pay for this.
I mean,
you might have buyer's regret with this one.
I mean, I've played games with a lot of dialogue in them. RPG. That's not uncommon, but no, the amount of dialogue in this game I've noticed is on the upper end of it. There's one point, if you guys, I'm telling my age with this one, if you guys remember Final Fantasy, Fantasy Star 2, when you get towards the ending sequence, you literally have like 15 minutes of dialogue before you go and you fight that final boss. And then there's like a lot of when you get into the second half of the game, where it really turns out that that's probably the most dialogue I've seen in the JRPG. But so
no, Andrew, trust me. I am not saying Game Pass is great. I'm just saying Moss might regret buying this game because, like I said, I don't think it's for him.
We'll see. I mean, I definitely don't mind playing a JRPG with a lot of dialogue in it. It's just that, if I play something, I'm gonna stream it, and I want to play something to where, okay, if I'm putting a lot of time into it while I'm streaming it, at least I'm streaming action. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I did notice the dialogue in it. He's definitely not lying about that. There is a lot of fucking talking in that game. I know normally we run a video, everybody, but we're gonna start getting into these shows, and then maybe what we can do is like to show you guys like some of the ongoings on the member streams. What I'll do is whatever member comments I couldn't get to during the member section, we could talk about them here. We had a great conversation in the member stream, so I'm gonna go through it. Well, we were talking Cold Blood in the member stream about PlayStation. Which was about who?
the Coco tax.
Yeah, we kind of were like,
Brigadier. Yeah. I do. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
I just wanted to.
We were giving PlayStation that business because there's been some questionable things happening as of late. We're gonna talk about it. Spider-Man 2 coming to PC this soon. Maybe we this thing about Crimson Desert not getting Sony tried to Sony approached them, for an exclusivity deal, and they turned them down. What is that about? The hell? Yeah, what? Hold on.
Another 5 minutes of him leaving.
No, I'm back.
Talking. Okay.
I'm back.
I thought you're getting your meeting, bro.
Yeah, I thought I fucked up and I answered a business call that I didn't want to answer, but I didn't. Thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness. I was like, damn, I flipped my phone open. I didn't want to. Yeah, so what's behind PlayStation not being able to get that deal? Did they expend a lot of money somewhere that we preferred them not to? And we were talking about that. So Corey Massey chimes in, and he didn't agree with us. I'm gonna start calling Corey PlayStation's lawyer. PlayStation's lawyer came in there. He was like, "Nah, I'm not feeling what you guys are saying." And he questioned, our criticisms of Sony over, let's say, for instance, we were talking about, this whole approach with Atlas and Square Enix, where now these guys want to go multi-plat. We're like, that's a problem, because PlayStation's business, Atlas's business and Sega's, when it comes to these JRPGs, they're on PlayStation. They're really not anywhere else. And when you do this parallel development, you heavily run the risk of spreading resources thin, therefore releasing a lesser product when your clientele is pretty much congregated elsewhere. Now, we've seen spots like, I think, was it Metaphor? Didn't it see good user player base on Steam or something like that? Here, let me take a look.
Apparently, it's the highest JRPG concurrent player count ever.
That didn't happen, right? Because I think there were other games, I think, that had it, but okay, so now it's at 35,000. But
of course, it's gonna drop down after launch.
Yeah,
that's normal.
Yeah, now it's at 35,000.
That's still fuck both God of War and Final Fantasy 16.
Oh yeah, it's probably destroying them both combined now and shit.
Hey, absolutely.
So yeah, you do have these diamonds in the rough, but commonly, and particularly with Square Enix, I wonder. Let me see. Persona 3 was day and date on PC, right? Was it Persona 3 Reload? Was that it? That's the game that came out recently, wasn't it? Persona 3 Reload. Let's see where it peaked at. It doesn't show. How come it's not showing me? Okay, its all-time peak was 45,000. That game launched February 2nd. Let's see here. And I was just on Metaphor ReFantasio. Let's look at the charts. All-time peak of 85,000. So, you will have some diamonds in the rough, and Sega isn't doing horrible on PC, but Cold Blood was pretty much saying, look, man, your audience is on PlayStation. That's where most of them congregate to. You're better off locking that down and making sure that, hey, if you want to play these games, you come to PlayStation, because it'll be a better game for it, because you ain't got to worry about parallel development. I'm pretty sure, like, it's not a problem for me. But Cold Blood, you talk about the issues that you have with the anti-aliasing and how wavy everything looks, right? I'm pretty sure that's something that they realize they got to address, but they probably couldn't do it by launch, right? What do you think about that?
I have no idea. I mean, if this is the PS5's limit, bro, then holy shit. I mean, I hope there's gonna be a patch soon that is at least making the image more stable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that a PS5 thing, you think?
I mean, it's also on Xbox.
Oh, okay, so you okay. Yeah.
Now that's a developer thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was the point that was being made, and I think maybe not so much Sega and Atlas. Well, not so much Sega, but not so much Atlas, to be more particular, but probably more so Square Enix. Square Enix games, I mean, historically, I don't think their audience is nowhere but PlayStation, period. And that's what Cold Blood was really like laser focused on was Square Enix. He spoke of how he's not, and Cold Blood chime in at any time. I'm only repeating what you said because I know how much you hate repeating yourself. But he was saying that he only focused, like his thing was he's not going to have the same optimism with future Square Enix games because now they're going to try to be releasing everywhere at the same time, and he knows that's going to cut into their resources, and it's not going to be as good as it was if they would have just focused on a singular platform. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Parallel development is something you have to be ready for. And I just don't think that Square Enix in particular is that ready for it. So he's having far less optimism when their future games come out. It's not a loyalty argument in my opinion. It's I want the best game. Like, we all traditionally came to PlayStation because we knew that these games are better on Play. Even me. And again, this is not an argument over loyalty. When I had nothing to be loyal to PlayStation about, like, I hated PlayStation, right? I'm not gonna lie, I hated them. The only reason why I had a PlayStation in my house was for JRPGs. So even I, who preferred to play on Xbox and play elsewhere, I knew that if I wanted to get the best JRPG experience, I would have to get a PlayStation. And I had no problems doing that, even though the only thing that I was playing on that PlayStation was JRPGs. Not a problem. So it's been traditionally known that, hey, if you want to play great JRPGs and you want to play them in the best way, you got to get you a PlayStation. So decades and decades of consumer habit, development practice, publisher practice has been suited in that area. Now at the flip of a switch, you want to change all that. And that's fine if you can change it and still keep the same level of quality. But if you can't, why would you flip that switch so quick when you've developed decades of habit that the consumer's already become accustomed to and they've already resigned behind? Even someone like myself who hated PlayStation, but realized that, hey, if I wanted a great JRPG experience because of the partnerships and the level of co-development and shit that PlayStation would do for a lot of these games, that because that existed, if I wanted a great JRPG experience, I had to go to PlayStation. That's it. That wasn't me showing no level of loyalty to PlayStation. That was just me recognizing what was the best outcome for these JRPGs. And now they're going to do something else that I would say for Square Enix, go look at their volume on PC. It does not look good. Does not look good. So unless they seriously change their ability to do this parallel development, and it's not easy. How the fuck do you think PlayStation, of the best developers in the world, went and hired Nixus to handle a lot of this stuff? It's not easy doing this shit. So the question is, what is that going to mean for the purist in the JRPG consumer base that said, look, regardless if PlayStation is my main place to play or not, I realize that if I want the greatest JRPG experience, I got to go get a PlayStation. So they're embedded in this. They buy the deluxe editions of these games and get the maps and all the figurines and all the shit, right? They're wholly invested into these JRPGs. What's it going to mean for those people that said, hey, I got to get a PlayStation for this because I want the best experience? I understand that partnership is going to cause the best experience. And then now the games are going to come out shitty. And again, I'm not saying that in every case. You look at Metaphor ReFantasio, great, all appearances is a great title. I enjoyed just a little bit of time that I spent with the demo. It's very popular on Steam, but again, you look at, for instance, the Square Enix, and that is not, it's not going to be the case. I think a better strategy is, if I'm Square Enix, I realize my audience for these type of games are on PlayStation. So here's what I need to do. When I make a game, it's either going to be cross-gen, or if it's too ambitious for it to be cross-gen, I'm going to put it out in the latter part of the console generation so I get the highest saturation period. That's it. It's as simple as that. So it's either going, so your Square Enix's next game, it's going to be on PlayStation, that's of the JRPG nature, like, or just simply put, the Final Fantasy game. If I got an ambitious or if I have a mainline Final Fantasy game, if it's not too ambitious, okay, it can be on the PlayStation 5 or 4, and it can be on the PlayStation 5. If it's too ambitious for the 4, then I'm releasing it in, the latter half of the PlayStation 5. That way it'll see the success in volume that Final Fantasy VII Remake saw. It's just as simple as that. Doing anything else, I understand that I'm sacrificing potential numbers. And that's on me. So even if Sony does cut me a check and says, hey, we would like to see Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in the earlier parts of the generation, I understand that check that Sony is writing me in order to do that better be fat as shit, because if it's not, I'm not getting it in sales because there's not enough PlayStation 5s out there. That's just common sense. But let's go to the chat, see what the chat has to say, and then I'm going to continue on and check out some more shit that we said in the Yo, we here. Says Devil Shooter PC exclusives are mostly trash. Yeah. That's true. And the reason behind that, Andrew Wilkins is in Devil Shooter, is because, look, the reason why PlayStation and Nintendo games are better, the reason why their games are better is because they have a heightened sense of urgency that a normal publisher doesn't have. A normal publisher just simply needs everybody that has access to the game to give heavy consideration to buying their game. And buy it. Like, once they just got to run a good enough gimmick for people to pick up the game, and 5 to 10 million people buy it, or over 5 million people buy it. You know, if it costs more for it to develop, okay, maybe 10 million. Right? That's it. And then your job is done. For a platform holder, it's not that simple. I don't care if 5 to 10 million people buy it. I need my game to sell decent, right? But on top of that, draw new people to my console while keeping existing people on my console. So I got to do like 3 things. I got to do some decent numbers for a game. You know, I think individualistically, you know, an exclusive doesn't have to do well, particularly if the prior games ahead of it did well for the console. You know, they can do nominal numbers. They can do like instead of doing 5 million, they can do like 3 or 4 million, even 2 million in some cases, if the game surrounding it blew it out of the box, because those games would have picked up for your slack. If the game has got critical appraise, that's good. If the game surrounding it picked up the slack, right? But a game has to sell well enough. It has to keep its current consumer base on the platform and say, oh, okay, I bought this platform, and okay, all right, I'm these are the extra games that I'm getting on top of the multi-plats. Oh yeah, I really like this. I'm building my library here. And then it has to entice other people to say, I want to spend $500 to buy your platform so I can build my library there too. That's something that a regular multi-plat does not have to do. It just has to sell. Way more pressure on exclusives than it is multi-plats, right? So because of that heightened sense of urgency and that need to sell you a $500 box that a normal multi-plat, that's not their job. Their job is just to be sold in general. But because of that heightened sense of responsibility, platform holders put more care and more quality. Well, successful platform holders do. Put more care and more quality in their games, in their platform games, in their exclusive titles. So that's why they do better. Because when a PC developer makes a game, he's making it for PC, but he's making it to appease the already built PC consumer base, because he knows I'm not getting console gamers to come over here to PC. So they make their games to entice a PC consumer base so they can, again, buy 5 to 10 million and stay in the game and buy mods and shit, like, you know what I mean? So that level of that care to quality isn't there. Now, let me tell you something that would change that dynamic, which we won't see in the PC world. Something that we've brought up here on this channel, particularly I'll give Cold Blood his credit on this. Because he said, look, if I buy a higher end graphics card, why don't you start making games that fully takes advantage of that motherfucker? Like, I don't give a fuck if someone bought a GTX 1060 and right after WW2. I don't give a fuck if someone bought one in a 560 GT in 1919. I don't give a fuck about that. I just bought a 4090 motherfucker. We're like, I want a game that fully utilizes that. So that means that you might have to cut off minimum specs for at a 4070 or some shit like that, or a 3070. You might have to cut minimum specs off at a 3070. Oh shit, but hey. But you're not gonna get that dynamic unless that part maker, acts like a platform holder, and actually helps fund a game like that. And you know what, Cold Blood? I don't know how you feel about that. You can chime in and tell us how you feel about that. But I don't think it's a bad idea with all the money that NVIDIA's making. If they go to a developer and say, hey, look, man, to highlight our last 2 series of cards, develop this game with the minimum spec being a 3060 Ti, and make a badass game. I think that would go 8 nuts. That would actually sell some cards too. I mean, what do you think about that? Uh-oh, we lose Cold Blood. I think we lost Cold.
No, you did not. No, you didn't.
Did you hear the question?
No.
Oh, no, I was saying, I don't know what you think about this, but I know we talked about it on the channel, but it sucks. If you bought a 4090 or 4080, they're still developing games that are taking into consideration a motherfucker with a GT 560 and some, like, why doesn't NVIDIA partner with the developer and say, look, man, to help us sell our high-end cards, let's really show what these motherfuckers can do. We're going to help you fund a game that at the minimum specs require you to have a 3060 Ti. You know what I mean?
Because, bro, isn't that easy? Because NVIDIA doesn't give a shit. They said as much. Their whole fucking shtick right now is AI.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give a fuck about gaming like that, bro. They only care about you buying their fucking GPU and bye-bye. The rest is up to the developers.
Mm. Yeah.
They only do the DLSS stuff that is helping them with that AI shit.
What I would do, like how often do new graphic cards come out? Like every 2 years, right? Or new lineup, like, like it takes like every 2 to 3 years, right?
Well, it's right now the 40 series feels like fucking 4 years, bro.
Oh.
Not gonna lie.
See,
but it's probably not. No.
If I'm them, bro, and look, hold on, let's see. Let's take a look. When did RTX 40 series cards release? Okay, 2 years ago. October, yeah, almost 2 years to the date.
Yeah, but I just said it feels like it's already 4 years ago.
All right, so, and then they're talking 2020, they're talking like this 50 series could come out in 2025, right? You expect it to come out then, or you think in 2026?
Of course. Every single rumor points to it coming out very soon.
Okay, so 2025. All right. So that's 3 years. If I'm NVIDIA, I got 2 studios that I'm working with that I can drop some money on, 150 million each. That's spitting a bucket to them. Get them 150 million to make games that cut off the benchmark at, that are specific, that are made mainly for their newest lineup.
But more. NVIDIA knows the majority of these PC bums don't have a 4080 or 4090.
Yeah, because
it would not make sense to them.
Yeah, they don't need one, right? Like, if you didn't need a PlayStation, you're not buying it, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah, same. They don't need to have a 4090.
How many people would pay $1,500 or even more than that just to play one game?
Well,
I don't know, bro.
You look, if I know I'm getting the top of the line game, it's a kick-ass game, you could sell more cards. I think you could sell more cards. And you could start a trend where you'll get more developers that are making AAA games and like, holy shit, if they're doing that, hey, we'll sign up. And you might get more than just one game that goes with it. You know what I mean? I would do that. I would even try it and just see how it goes. I got my.
But you don't take into consideration that these people also need a fucking good ass CPU on top of that.
Well, yeah, if you're getting a GPU, you're likely, you're a lot of. I doubt that someone's getting a 4090 and they got a second generation i3 and shit. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? They got like 8 gigs of RAM and shit. But to help spur that, you know what I mean? That's what I would do. And then, hey, to your point, let's go tap NVIDIA. I mean, not NVIDIA. Let's go tap Intel. Hey, Intel, you want to throw $50 million on this shit? Because, we're going to throw in your CPUs. We're going to mention your CPUs as the benchmark. You want to have something at minimum. You want to have an equivalent to blah 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 CPU, and if this game is coming out with the 50 series, you want to have a 4060 Ti. Shit, or 40. Oh, fucking a 4060.
Well, but they already partnering with these developers. They give out games for free and stuff when you buy a new GPU. And one GPU is more optimized for this game. One GPU is more optimized for this game. Bullshit. Yeah. They're already doing it in some way.
It's kind of like what, and the reason why I'm stuck on that idea is because I'm thinking back to when Crysis first came out, and people were like, "Can your PC run?" That was a big fucking like that sold that right there for the game. Just whatever you want to call it, just being tough as hell's on your.
Yes, but remember how much GPUs cost back then and how much they cost right now.
Yeah,
I mean the top tier GPUs. It's a big difference.
Well, I mean, look, that's why I said you make the minimum specs of 4060, which runs for at 300. But if I buy a 4090,
but wait. If you make the 4060 the minimum spec, then a 3080 can also run that shit.
Yeah, that's what I said. You're gonna do at least two. You're doing 2 generations instead of doing 4. Instead of that's a big cutoff versus having, or that's a significant cutoff versus having your cutoff a 1060. You know what I mean? Having your minimum specs at 1060. If I'm cutting off the minimum specs at 30, that's what I said. You're at least going to do 2 generations worth, where it's the current generation and the last generation. But of course, you're going to get significantly more performance out of the current generation. But you're going to be able to do more because the cutoff is just going to be another generation.
Well, we're not that far away at this point, Moss. If you just look at the recent games, bro, they all want a fucking 2080 in that motherfucker, at least. For just 1080 60 gaming with frame generation. Or not frame generation, but DLSS quality or performance or whatever the fuck.
But they're going to probably lean on that for a while. I'm just saying whenever like if this new card comes out, the 50 series, okay, so now you bump it to where, 50 series cards are within, can be within the pot, and the lowest is 4060. You know what I mean? That's a significant bump up from.
I don't think that's happening, bro.
No. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just saying, to me, that would be great marketing to help push out more cards. and make the people with the higher cards feel like they're getting more bang for their buck. Because shit,
look, the PC enthusiast is gonna buy the next one anyway. Like, bro, Nvidia ain't even worried about that. Who they gotta convince is everyone else, the ones with the mid-level graphics card and below that
to upgrade, and to build.
But they're not gonna convince them by making the system requirements a fucking 4060, bro. Trust me, that's not enough. You have to cut your price a lot.
I mean, well, number one, you will get people to upgrade to those higher cards because the minimum specs won't even be like for instance, when we talk about a game that requires like some beefier shit, we look at what the game requires you to play, like 4K 60, 1440p 60, right? And the minimum specs hardly gets advertised. It's just, the card that's going to require you to do X, Y, Z. And then the minimum card in this case is just there because we're trying to show you how fucking balls to the walls this game is. Like, I'm telling you, bro, I get that cards are more expensive now, but it's always that fear of FOMO that works with gamers. When Crysis came out, you had everybody and their grandmother trying to build a powerful PC to run that motherfucker. Everybody and their grandmother trying to do that. And I think you can capture some of that FOMO with people that'll normally just sit back and wait because, my graphics card is still in the range. The minimum is a 1080, but 2080s could still run this.
But then you're asking the developers to make new engines that are gonna be so fucking demanding that they can't run them unless they have a fucking 4080.
Yeah, but that's where you're funding it. Of course, you're funding it.
I don't think Nvidia wants to waste money on that.
That's why I said
on that potential.
If I sit there and tell a developer, hey, I'm gonna drop 150 million. Every time we're coming out with a new card, here, these are our two developers, because you would want to have two. You would want to have one working, kind of like how they switch off on Call of Duty. Okay, you guys are going to work on the 50 series game, and then when we come out with the 60 series game, because they already got this shit prototype well in advance, you guys are going to work on the 60 series game. I would drop $150 million on that to help with that marketing. And look, here goes the Crysis equivalent for the 50 series card. $150 million is a spit in a bucket to someone like NVIDIA. It's nothing. It is nothing to them. And then, like I said, to help push Intel, who wants to get more and more into the PC gaming fight, I would approach them and be like, hey, you want to put 50 million on this, 100 million on this?
Moss, explain to me why Nvidia would do that when they price gouge the shit out of the cards and everyone buys them anyway.
Because
what's the point?
Well, everybody doesn't buy them, and they could sell more. The point is, you sell more. For that $150 million that you're dropping, you're potentially bringing in another billion at least. Because you complain about it too. These games don't perform as well as you guys hope they are based upon what you paid, because they're trying to take in consideration all these older cards. So you cut off the minimum specs to be relatively close to what your highest generation is, and you're going to get a better looking, better performing game because of it. And what better way to promote your card? Don't get me wrong. Of course, there's still a business for it regardless, but you can make even more money, which that's what businesses do. And there's no better way to do that than to promote, hey, this is what this thing can do at the biggest bells and whistles. And you never know. You could influence more developers that may want to look, holy shit. That game looks awesome. If we do something similar to that, we might be able to sell 20 million.
Where do we go with this right now?
What'd you say?
Where do we go with this right now? I'm kind of lost the plot now.
No, the question you weren't tuned in when they asked the question. They had asked the question about PC exclusives and why PC exclusives suck. And I explained that it's because of the investment that the platform makers make when it comes to their exclusive games. You don't see that on the PC side. And I said, what PC's makers could do, is if you, for instance, if you have NVIDIA do something like that, then you could potentially see PC games get better, look better, if they regularly invested in them. And that was a scenario that I was breaking down that they could do it. But I said, until you see an outside party that's trying to sell something other than just the game itself, like how you have with a platform holder, until you have that type of dynamic, you're not going to regularly see PC exclusives be better than console exclusives, because consoles are trying to sell something in addition. We got Brigadier Williams in here. Long time no see. It was good, Moss. Good to see you, my friend. He says, I think Insomniac Games should do a standalone like they did with Miles Morales. Games that go into Game Pass and have marketing deals with Microsoft usually are disappointing. Yeah, Metaphor, I think, is an exception. But this one didn't go into Game Pass, so. He says, Brigadier says, what's up, Cold Blood? Do you like the Neo games? He asked you, do you like the Neo games?
Okay.
What'd you say?
I answered that in the chat.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. And Andrew Wilkins, only consoles with exclusives is Nintendo.
That's kind of bullshit, because Tears of the Kingdom was officially out earlier on PC. I mean, am I lying?
No. Yeah. This whole look. In my opinion, this whole first party forever exclusive, that's the only way you can count an exclusive, I don't think is a smart approach. Now, you can argue if putting your games on PC closer to day and date is a smart business strategy. I think that's a decent enough argument. But anybody in here, particularly former Xbox enthusiasts that want to argue that, you need to take your Xbox and throw it out the window, because it is the Xbox exclusives that were mainly timed that made that console. And when these games were coming out, nobody said, oh, yeah, well, these aren't real exclusives because they're only timed, or they're not exclusives because they're not first party. Nobody. That's why, we listen to Hargeet and he's saying, who cares about games that aren't Sony first party? You're not even here talking about Xbox if it wasn't for their second party game. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? So yeah, I don't fall for that. It's got to be a first party exclusive forever in order for it to be considered an exclusive. You have second party exclusives, you have third party exclusives that are timed. They are important because, and I can't believe I'm saying this, to Colt Eastwood's point. Matter of fact, we can start talking about that soon. But to Colt Eastwood's point, they sold the console. They increased your library. The games at the time of launch were not anywhere else. They were on the console only long enough to help influence the console. Marvel Spider-Man 2 to exception.
No. Shout out to all the third-party developers, bro. They carried the shit out of the PlayStation this year.
Yeah.
Like, the only game that Sony now officially released is Astrobot.
Mm-hmm.
And soon Lego Horizon. That
Yeah.
I could not give less of a fuck.
Yeah, that's why no one's even talking about that game. No one's even talking about that game. That's how. Who cares? People are about that game.
Actually, wait. Devil Shooter. Yeah, that was actually a rare Cold Eastwood W. Like for real. He called out the bullshit from Hellgeet.
Yeah.
That's rare, bro.
Yep. Yeah, we'll play it for you guys soon. But I will say this, that I think it's a miscue. Cold Blood. What are your thoughts on Spider-Man coming to PC this soon? What do you think about it? Spider-Man 2.
What did you say?
I said, what do you think about Spider-Man 2 coming to PC this soon?
A joke, a travesty, an absolute abysmal stance on how long a game can be considered exclusive. Now everything isn't fucking doubt. Like, how long is gonna be the next? The Wolverine. How long is that gonna be exclusive now? 6 months? A year? 2 years? Maybe 3 months? We don't know. So it's all now up in the air. Like, there's no longer a guideline. What is considered a real, true exclusive? There's no guideline anymore because it can be now a day exclusive, and then next day it comes out on PC, bro. And they're gonna call it, oh, that's an experimental game. That's an experimental game. Like, get the fuck out. Like, seriously, bro. Like I said, this is the absolute limit point. What they did with Spider-Man to me. Anything less than that, bro, and you're gonna be called into question. Like, what you're gonna do now? Day and date on PS6 already? Are we already that desperate? I hope not.
What were the three
Because I still
tiers?
want to play on PlayStation, but bro, no, wait, let me finish. I want to play on PlayStation. Don't get me wrong, but if they're gonna tell me I just gotta wait a little bit and I can play the fucking definitive edition on PC, then I'm gonna wait. I can do that for a few months, absolutely.
What was those different tiers? Oh, no. Yeah, what is those different tiers? It's experimental and what else? I forgot.
What?
The different tiers of the play, the experimental of the for the exclusives.
Oh, what was it again? Well, it was the first party bullshit, yeah.
Yeah.
Then the second tier was the whole games as a service shit. And then the last one was the whatever the fuck. The experimental one.
Yeah.
So, and I gotta talk about this, bro. Like, Corey Messer says, this is mental gymnastics cap. Sony published Helldivers 2, Last of Us 2 Remaster, MLB The Show, Concord, and Astronaut. Okay, so, out of those games, who gives a fuck about MLB? First of all, I don't. I absolutely give no shit about it. I don't even consider it first party anymore because they released that shit on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're just a studio to make games for everybody. Last of Us 2 remaster. Bro, I literally played that shit in 2020. Why would I play it again now? What's the point? Oh, look at the prettier graphics. Huh? The game looked good enough on a PS4 back in the day. It didn't need one. It's the most unnecessary remaster we got. Then Helldivers 2. Are you sure about that? That it's a first party that made that? Because I don't think so. I don't think Arrowhead is a first party, right? Or did they acquire them? Mouse, I was asking you.
Oh, you were asking me.
Yeah.
No, they didn't acquire them. No.
Well, then, okay, they only published Helldivers 2, which I said, shout out to the third-party developers. They carried the shit out of you this year. So I don't know what your point is right now.
I don't know. Yeah.
And then Concord refunded and canceled. Yes, that's why I don't count Concord, because that shit does not exist. It's deleted, uninstalled. It's gone. And Astrobot is the only one I will give any credit this year to Sony first party themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's the only game that really is new. No remaster, no fucking sports game that I don't give a shit about. An actual good game released by first party. Everything else, bruh, whatever. And that Sony hack came out from Insomniac, and that they could play some broken ass version of Spider-Man 2. How many did that? Not many, trust me. Because most of them mofos don't even know how to write a fucking simple script. They don't know shit how to do that. No, oh my god, Corey Messick, no. It's always the same with them, right, Moss?
He says you played Spider-Man
It's always the
2.
same. You're mad. Someone else is playing the game now.
We already broke that down.
I am mad that my purchase of my console is being devalued by the fucking second by Sony.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I am mad about. Not because the PC dudes get to fucking swing around in New York. Whatever. That's not the point here.
Yeah, Corey is taking the role of PlayStation lawyer. Corey, what you're saying, and I need to understand something, and then I'm gonna shut up for a little bit. I need to understand, Corey, how can you tell us in the member show we don't understand the business, but you are not making the correlation of PlayStation getting closer to day and date on PC is bad for business? Everybody, even people that cap for PlayStation, understands the correlation of how that doesn't work. We've already seen what happens when you do that with Xbox. Since 2016, Corey, when Xbox started doing this, they have the lowest margins out of the big three. Why? Because the biggest per capita spenders said, I'm not going to buy an Xbox anymore. I might as well buy a piece, build a PC, and not only buy my Xbox games there, but buy my multi-plat games there. Corey, what are the majority of games that are bought on PlayStation? You truly don't believe it's exclusives, do you? You know it's multiplats. So if I decide that I don't need to buy an Xbox and I'm going to PC, guess what Xbox misses out on? They miss out on 30% of their actual game sales, 30% of their DLC, and 100% of the multi-plat sales. That I'm not going to go and say, well, let me go get an Xbox for my multi-plats. I'm buying them on PC where they're cheaper and more accessible because I built the PC. If PlayStation keeps developing games closer and closer to launch date on PC, the same thing will happen to them. People will say, shit, I might as well buy a PC. Ask Devil Shooter. Put down your PlayStation lawyer book and ask Devil Shooter. Just have a conversation with people in the chat. It's bad for business. The less incentive you give people to play on PlayStation and the more they go elsewhere, Sony loses their bread and butter, which is the multi-plat purchases. That weakens the PlayStation marketplace, which is the creme de la creme of the PlayStation business. They lose that, they lose, period. There's already empirical proof of this. Xbox is doing it. That's why Nintendo won't touch it. And Nintendo is bringing in less revenue than everybody out of the big three. But they realize that the revenue that they are bringing in is protected because they've locked it to their own ecosystem. It's common sense. He says PlayStation isn't getting closer to day and date. They got hacked and the game is already on. What is he? What? Coblet, can you help me with that? I guess he's saying that because Spider-Man got hacked. So is Wolverine launching day and date on? Because that got hacked too, right? Right? Is that what you're saying? That Wolverine?
Look, do you see everyone play Spider-Man 2 right now on PC?
I don't understand. Huh?
No, because the only thing that got leaked is a broken ass, assetless last game that can probably start, but you can do shit in it anyway. You can just swing around a little bit. That's it.
I don't
like, bro. A hack, my god. So he says that it accelerated their plan to put it on PC, which would mean the PC port was done already, and they just wanted to wait or what? Come on, bro.
So that using his theory, then Wolverine should launch day and date on PC, right? Is that what you're saying, Corey Massey? Someone put a thumbnail on that. Wolverine. Corey, you're speaking out of something you have no experience with. Trust me. Which I can say easily right now with no problems.
Yeah, Wolverine, bro. Wolverine has to be done day and date because it got leaked already.
That's what I just said. Fuck it, not day.
Yeah.
It's launching on PC next week. It's launching first, and it's coming to PlayStation in 2027. What are we talking about?
Someone developed it for Insomniac already.
Yeah. The next state of play is for Wolverine on PC and shit because it's launching in February. What are you talking about? It's coming to PC in 2028. I mean, it's coming to PlayStation in 2028.
Well, now the cracks are showing, Moss. Read the next one.
He said the whole game is on PC. The hack code is the complete code of the game. It was mixing textures. That's it. What? Corey. Corey.
We love you, brother, but goddamn.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Goddamn.
Yeah. Your Mark Cerny Dakota ring is in the mail, bro. I look. As someone, trust me, I know all about this hacking shit. Okay. If you haven't followed the content, back in the day, me and my brother used to play pirated games, but there was called something called the Pirates Code if you were on Mirc, M-I-R-C. Read up on it because you apparently don't know, brother. I'm gonna school you. We would pirate games not so we could see if they were worth buying. If they were worth buying, if they weren't worth buying, we just deleted the game, moved on to the next one. If they were worth buying, we bought the authentic game on PC. That's what the people that are hacking when you go get the torrents, Axos, and all the motherfuckers, whatever their names are, I forget. The motherfuckers that are out there that have been doing this for years, for decades. That was the code. We're putting the game out there, and they always say in the bylines, if you like this game, make sure you support the devs and buy it. They would the pirates would always say that. They might still say it to this day. I don't know. It's been years since I've done that. But that's what we would do. We would try the game out.
Bro, no. Now the pirates say, fuck the developers. That's what they say now.
I don't know. I remember those guys on Mirc. There was a pirates code that if you liked the game, you bought it. It's don't get it twisted with these motherfuckers that call themselves pirates now. No, they're just leechers. They don't understand the game. But go do some research on MIRC. Talk to someone that was on the Mirc chat board where all the pirating was happening. Right? And you'll trust me, there may be 15 people that are playing this version of Spider-Man that you're talking. It's not getting any traction, bro. It is of no threat to PlayStation. PlayStation has pirated shit. People are pirating shit all the time. I remember when I was playing my PlayStation 2 games on my computer. Back in the day, I was able to do that. These piracy efforts have been around for a long time. PlayStation and say, oh fuck, oh my God, okay, well now we got to put our PlayStation 2 games on PC. These pirating efforts been around all the time. Only a handful of people take advantage of them. They are not the threat that you're trying to make it out to be, to make Insomniac drop what they were doing, eliminate all their DLC because there's a textureless version of Spider-Man 2 out there that 5 people are playing. No, that's not it. You got it totally wrong.
We're gonna talk in a sucker, bro. Let's go to the next topic.
He says you can play the full Spider-Man right now. Nobody cares, Corey. Nobody cares. It's not that big of an influence. What stopped them was Hiroki Totoki said, hey, you stop what the fuck you're doing. You're going to put all your development efforts to porting this to PC because I think we're going to make more money there. That's what happened. No goddamn piracy. These people have been pirating shit forever in regards to PlayStation. Ain't nobody talking about this Spider-Man port that's out there, bro. No, I'm saying this pirated game out, this version of Spider-Man 2 that's out there, stop it. You're trying to play full lawyer here. This pirated version that's out there, nobody cares about it. Now, if the actual PC version of the game was out there, the full version of the game, and people was pirating that, that's different. But this textureless version that probably runs at 5 frames per second, nobody gives a shit about, Corey. You don't understand how it works. You're just making up shit on the fly. Talk about not knowing how it works.
The only thing they got is a prototype.
Yes.
So what?
Nobody cares. It's not getting that traction. Juice for the $5 says, you're assuming this is Sony and not Disney. How fast did Miles? No, it's not Disney. It's Sony. It's Hiroki Totoki. How long did it take the other Spider-Man to come to PC? That's your answer. Spider-Man's always been Disney, right? How fast did the other ones come to PC, Juice? And shout out to Juice with his 5th super on the live stream. Go ahead.
The 2018 one came out in 21 or 22.
Yeah, I think might have been even 22.
God,
that was Disney.
4 years, bro. 4 years is acceptable in my eyes. Like, bro, 4 years, I ain't worried, bro. But 1 year, yeah, okay. That is that is no fucking time at all. They didn't even let it sit for a while, right? Accumulate those sales.
Yep.
Jiggery Pokery says should be 80 years. True.
But yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't say shit about that, bro.
Oh, Corey, nobody cares because it's not getting any traction. They could have the developers eating lunch embedded in the game. It's not getting any traction. You're saying the whole game is out there. Nobody fucking cares to play it. It's not that good of a hack. It's not getting any traction. Nobody's talking about it except you. You've given it more mention than the whole community playing it, bro. Stop it. Stop it. Nobody cares about it. You're making a bigger deal out of it to try to force feed your argument than the people are that are playing it. Nobody cares about it. Definitely not Sony. Not all like that. You're trying to make a bigger deal out of it than what it is to justify your argument of why they're doing it.
Chris Coleman, not entirely true because Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order did great.
He said Disney could require more money now that because of the success of the games. PlayStation, PS Marvel games are the only consistent money Disney gets from games. Other companies are more. Corey, that game is not doing anything. Stop. I know you don't eat lead chips. See, you're arguing now out of good faith. I didn't say pirated games altogether. We're talking about the Spider-Man 2 game. I know you don't eat lead chips for breakfast. So stop arguing like you are. You're smarter than that. Stop it. That type of regressive argument is beneath you. Stop it. We are talking about this Spider-Man 2 game that probably runs at 5 frames per second that has no textures, that has Peter Parker butt-ass naked flying on some vine or some shit. Some juggle on vine.
Moss, you know why it's getting less and less time now? Because Nixus is getting better at this shit.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yep. And Totoki realizes that. It says we can get more money out of this. Of course we know that pirated games of the entire game, like when the PC version is out there and instead of buying it, people pirate the actual retail version of the game, that hurts. Because we saw Horizon Forbidden West hacked in 35 seconds. You're mixing apples and oranges and you know it. I know you're smarter than that. You cannot win an argument here like that. It's not going to work. Stop trying to deflect and make an argument on this side that is not the argument we're making. That Spider-Man 2 hack, nobody cares about. It's not going to, it had no effect on the decision making. That didn't. Now, if Spider-Man 2, I'm gonna tell you what's going to have an effect when Spider-Man 2 does hit retail on Steam and it gets hacked in 25 seconds. That's going to hurt sales. That's going to hurt the longevity of the sales of the game.
You know, Moss. You know it's happening.
I know it's happening. That's going to hurt the sales of the game because those that would have been on the fence and said, damn, man, I don't want to wait for that Marvel Spider-Man 2. Maybe that, and I'm not saying it's all PC. I'm not even saying it's most. But those that were on the fence that were going to break down and buy it, they're not going to do it now because it's going to get hacked in 25 seconds. Stop this. Corey, I'm done with you on this point. You're not making any sense. You're not arguing to what we're saying. I don't care if the whole game is on there. I don't care if they got the developers out there eating lunch. PC game, you don't know. This is out of your area of expertise. You don't know what you're talking about. That hacked game that's out there, nobody cares about because it's not of the quality that's going to make enough people care about it. Everything that you're saying is out there could be out there. It is not of the quality that people care about. Cold Blood talked about, what was it? Tears of the Kingdom hack that was out there. And you know, in contrast, people cared about that one. That one got some burn. This is not getting any burn. Just because it's out there does not mean it's getting traction. Stop, Corey. You've lost this one. I don't know what else to tell you. You've lost this argument. You went as low as trying to bring up something that is not getting any traction, and you lost your argument. You just got to better argue. We're done with this one. We're moving on, like Cold Blood said. All right, Xbox. It was just a bad argument. You should have never even went there. You can't argue, oh, you guys don't know how it works, and then you talk about something you don't know how it works. You don't know how PC hacks work. If this hack was getting traction, like how the Tears of the Kingdom hack was getting traction, there would be a lot more buzz about it. Just because it's out there doesn't mean it's getting traction. You've lost the argument. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you. All right, now moving on. Xbox community. They are at a crossroads that when you talk about the 5 stages of denial, and we got a video that's going to be airing either today or tomorrow about this, but likely today. It is comical. Let's go, and to show you how comical it is, let's go to my good brother, Jamie's Act, the funniest account on the internet, to show you how comical this actually is. Jamie's Act got a couple of snippets. Well, he got some new snippets that I didn't even see. Options, Xbox. Okay, he's talking about the quality mode. Okay, so let's do this one first. Well, no, really, it's only one. It's only one snippet. This is a back and forth between Colt Eastwood, and this is what. Hold on. This is a back and forth between Randolph Thor, Colt Eastwood, and Hargeet. And Devil Shooter, this is what me and Cold Blood was talking about earlier. Where Colt Eastwood actually was talking truth in regards to Xbox's efforts versus PlayStation's efforts when it comes to great games this year. You're going to hear Rand try to put out what I'm going to simply just label it. And, you know, I have no problems with Rand. Rand has been great to the channel when we were covering Xbox content. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like as this generation came to about, Rand lost a lot of his down the middle assessment that he was an Xbox enthusiast, an Xbox fan, but he told it like how it was. And I feel like that in the thicket of this quote unquote battle versus PlayStation, he got more RDX like in his tone, to where with Rand, you got more of a truthful assessment of the state of things with Xbox. It made him, he told you on various occasions, it caused a lot of heartache for him and some people at Xbox, but he said, hey, look, I can only be me. I can only be authentic. I think he's kind of like turned more towards, super Xbox enthusiast RDX, and opposed to that original Rand that, even PlayStation people grew to love. Or not even PlayStation people, but even people that weren't fans of Xbox as much as he was grew to love. So when you heard something from him, you felt like it was coming from an authentic source and not someone trying to push an agenda. Well, I feel like this is a new talking point, that's the experimental talking point for Xbox creators. They're now talking about Xbox being in a cocoon. And to be fair, Xbox people on this podcast, including Colt Eastwood, push back on that. Like, no more buzzwords, no more talk about deltas and this and that, and now it's in the tools, and now we're talking cocoons and shit. Like, no, I'm tired of it. Says Colt Eastwood and others on this panel. Listen to it. Tell me what we'll talk about it on the back end. Let's go.
At that point now where it's cocoon, where Xbox is cocooned, and we just don't know what it's going to look like when they come out of that cocoon, right? So I think that Xbox is just in that position of change, and we just don't know what that change looks like, right? But now we're in this window of change.
No,
about this window of change. You
want me? Oh, okay. Hold on. I was playing it. Let me. I'm gonna play it again because I forgot. Cold Blood can't hear it if he's not, unless he's listening. Hold on. Okay, hold on 1 second. I got to do something else here because voice-o-meter is acting up. Give me a second, y'all. I'm sorry. Hold on. You might not hear us for a brief second. All right, check 1 2. Yeah, now y'all can hear me. Okay, good. So now let me do this so Cold Blood can hear it, and we'll play it back. All right, let's go back to the beginning. This is Colt Eastwood and others on the panel. There's like former RDX now saying, you know what, we're not gonna do these buzzwords anymore. Fuck it. Let's stop that shit. Here we go.
So we're at that point now where it's cocoon, where Xbox is cocooned, and we just don't know what it's going to look like when they come out of that cocoon, right? So I think that Xbox is just in that position of change, and we just don't know what that change looks like, right? But now we're in this window of change.
About this window of change that you keep talking about, has this been a window that's been open since 2017? Because honestly, we've been waiting for them to really hit big with Xbox, with games and stuff since then. Like we've been, like, I remember back when we started RDX in 2017, we were talking about how we were waiting for more games, and then it was wait for the tools, and it was wait for more games, and we're doing
when
a lot
you
of
say
waiting.
they're in the cocoon now, it's like,
how long has this cocoon been? Like they've been in this cocoon for many years.
I mean, they crawled into the cocoon in 2018.
No,
Bill was wearing the jean jacket and said, "We're going to build a first-party suite."
When I talk about the cocoon,
City Gamer, by the way, pathetic port begging ponies still got no games.
That's true. We'll go ahead and read.
Gaming $45.
So many games this year.
No, they haven't. Like first-party games, they have Astro.
I don't give a flying fudge. They had a bunch of great games this year. Oh,
yeah,
fun.
I mean,
Love
everybody always counts like the stuff that's.
I mean, I didn't want to play most of them, but they had a bunch of great games this year.
Yeah, and there were a bunch of great games on Xbox as well, right? But this is, whatever. Anyway, that's a different discussion. Yeah, but again, nobody ever counts those because you guys don't like them. That's it. That's always what happens. But anyway,
I'm not saying it to be negative.
No,
we're saying it because everyone notices this. Gamesindustry.biz is even like kind of taking a slide at Xbox. Like, look, yeah, they're going to sell Call of Duty, but PlayStation is going to make more money because they didn't have to buy the studio or the publisher.
I look back on it and I'm like, I spent a lot of money for nothing. I didn't enjoy games out of Game Pass every freaking quarter. I personally didn't. If you did, great for you. But for me, it was not worth it.
Okay. So that is, you guys heard that all okay? That was them talking about, well, I feel like Rand, shout out to Rand, it's a homie, but he was trying to put out the latest buzzword, the cocoon. And look, this is old, for those of you that, look, let me just break it down for you. This is old school Fawns. I remember running into Fawns online and how dare you talk about Xbox like this is the way Fawns used to talk. And he got on RDX. He got caught up in that hype. And then, you know what I mean? Hey, look, it was just a thing to do for content creators. It was so lucrative. So many content creators to switch. Even though, and I got to be honest, I was disappointed to see Fonz do this switch, because Fonz knows. He even knew better than me. Because I was coming on the scene, I really didn't quite trust Phil Spencer, but I didn't understand the incompetencies that he was part of. Fonz knew that because he was doing this longer than I have. So when I came at him and was like, yo, you just hating on Xbox, he was like, bro, you don't even know the half. So to know the incompetencies of Phil Spencer and then believe that they were going to execute on this stuff this generation, there's more to it than that. But this is how Fonz originally, was skeptical and talked back then. A lot more sensible. He's getting back to that because, hey, look, trying to boost up Xbox and, that's not the thing. And there's some people that are still slow coming around the corner. It's like turning the Titanic, but they're slowly but surely coming. And you guys heard it from Colt Eastwood. Colt Eastwood, whose whole MO was grifter extraordinaire. Even he's like, nah, stop it. Like, Cocoon, look, I'm the inventor of the buzzwords. I'm the one that, co-signed on deltas. Like, we're not going to do this. Cocoon, throw that shit back in the Cocoon. We're not going to do this. Xbox has changed. They have diverted. They have purged their original purpose, which the only reason why there is an Xbox is to compete and try to thwart PlayStation. That's the only reason why the Xbox was even created. So you take that out of the equation. Now you're putting shit on. If you would have told Seamus Blackley and Peter Moore that they were going to be releasing games on PlayStation, they would have laughed at you and slapped you in the mouth. So get the fuck out of here. Their library would be, encompassing of PlayStation. Now, granted, I can understand if you bought a big ass publisher that was like super huge in that first year or two. They were already making games for PlayStation, so you still left them. They didn't go totally exclusive for the first 2 or 3 because there's a conversion phase. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about legacy Xbox games that were never on PlayStation now going to PlayStation. I talk about that in my video that'll air later today. So very interesting stuff. Cold Blood, I'm curious what you think about this. Colt Eastwood, the person on the panel that's making the most sense. Did you ever think we would see this day?
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, actually, he was showing signs of starting to be a little bit more combative towards these dudes.
I never thought I would see this day. Never in the history of gaming did I think I would see this day to this extent, where not because of what he's saying, but he's telling Xbox people, wow, the entire community. I figured there would be a point in time where even Colt would have to realize, hey, look, man, the gig is up. But I didn't think that he would be the one yanking. I would think he would be the one that was yanked. I didn't expect him to be the one that was yanking Xbox gamers over to say, hey, look, this is the reality of the situation.
Bro, I think it's MAGG's influence on him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, they're getting information that they're getting information from various sources that makes them, believe that, hey, you can't deny this anymore. And they're not getting anything else from what do you call it? They're not getting anything else from Phil Spencer anymore. He's not giving them any more red meat. So they're like, fuck it. We are no longer going to play this charade because we're going to lose out. Phil Spencer is no longer going to do the interviews with Jazz Gordon and say, oh, we don't have any plans to put anything in Game Pass. And then people use that to try to discredit Tim Stewart. There's not going to be any more of those moments. I just thought he would be the last person to come around and say that. So, hold on one second.
I mean, it for sure came earlier than expected.
Yeah. Now, like I said, this was the old school fawns. I don't even know this Web Dave dude all like that. Now, a little disappointed. See this talking point being pushed.
So we're at that point now where Xbox is.
There is no cocoon. Xbox has completely abandoned its prior strategy. They're going full multi-plat in granting you access to their games via a multitude of different devices. They're a glorified third-party publisher. You see Ubisoft making the same pursuits. And this is not what people wanted. People did not want this. They wanted an Xbox that was going to be in the trenches against PlayStation, not handing PlayStation the ammunition. And that's exactly what you got right now. Now, it was something else. Oh, there's another one where, and shout out to Porter Rock.
For me to buy.
Porter Rock put this out here earlier. And I really urge you guys, to check out Porter Rock's video where he talks, was it this Froggy Gamer or something like that? Dude, this is somebody else that, I don't know much about this guy. He was supposed to be an Xbox dude. Then he went to PC because he was disappointed this generation. But he's still one of those PC dudes that was disappointed by Xbox, but still feels like he got to make excuses for Xbox. This is him telling you that the Pro is worthless before I'll let you guys see it. Hold on one second. If OBS starts working for me. All right. Here we go. Okay. Let's check out what this person has to say.
Dude, it's not even sold out, bro. Nobody cares about the PS5 Pro. When you look at this, okay, for me to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro to play Gran Turismo 7 with PSVR 2, that's not crazy. That's not outlandish. It's not outlandish for me to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro. I'm that target market for it. I am that bougie gamer that has to have the bougiest bougie stuff. So yeah, dude, like I get it. Like me, we already knew I was gonna buy a PS5 Pro. Is PS5 Pro exciting? Absolutely. For me, Xbox, man. Xbox comes out with Series S and Series X at the beginning of the generation. And now they're sitting there while PlayStation is going to be taking it home with the PS5 Pro, being able to deliver significantly better visuals. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing, this whole generation literally just sucks, man. Like this sucks so bad to be a console gamer. That's why I'm happy I switched to PC, guys. Like, I'm happy I switched to PC. Yes, I have decided to pick up PlayStation 5 Pro.
No, it sucked. Go ahead.
No, now Corey Massey can say that's some mental gymnastics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't suck to be a console gamer. It sucks to be a content creator that tried to double down on so much bullshit only for it to just explode in your face. That's what sucks. So I get it. It's not fun to go out here, say something for years and years, only for nothing to come to fruition. But here's the problem. You guys have common sense. You guys know better. You knew better than to say this stuff. The only reason why you said it is because you thought that there was going to be a market for you to continue to say this, whether it's true or not, and there would be red meat thrown out there from the Xbox execs to keep it going and going and going. And like Porter Rock said here, if you guys haven't seen the interview, go check it out. Porter Rock said here, it's just the way, as a content creator, we see this stuff behind the scenes. And if we're seeing it, then other content creators are seeing it. There was just more out there to incentivize content creators to hate on PlayStation. Like when you go make a video and you go put in your tags and shit, there's tools out there that tell you what's trending. And if I go and use those tools and it shows me PlayStation fanboy, PlayStation exclusives PC, PS5 salt content. If that's flooding all these tools that are out there that these content creators have, that is setting the GPS tracker showing me where I need to go if I'm trying to get the best squeeze out of my content. I ain't gotta believe it. So you guys make the mistake of thinking that most of these content creators believe what they say. Most of them don't. And that's why when you see your PlayStation content creator, now some of them are ultra PlayStation fans, right? They feel like they gotta be like my good brother. Shout out to Corey Massey. We love you, brother. But they feel like they got to do Corey Massey and defend PlayStation at all costs. But but look at your PlayStation content creator. They did not fall for the grift. They didn't say, So all these tools from Mark Miniman and all these tools that YouTube put out here that show me what's the trending content, even though it's all pointing to me to hate on PlayStation, I'm not going to do it. I'm a PlayStation gamer, and I'm gonna stick true to my gun. You got to appreciate that. You got to have some appreciation for that. So even though I do appreciate people coming back to their senses and Colt Eastwood and folks out there saying, talking truth to fiction, one can only say, look, this stuff was true beforehand. Xbox been crap. It's just that Xbox isn't defending themselves anymore, so they no longer have no incentive. Like, think about it this way, y'all. That's the only reason why these guys stopped doing it. If Xbox was still out here putting out the same trash, but they were out here still doing interviews with Jazz, Aaron Greenberg still biting chips on Twitter, still doing the X symbol, them still, talking their shit, Phil Spencer still talking their shit and throwing out red meat. Even with the same results, these guys would have never changed their tune. They would have never changed their tune. They would have never stopped doing the shit that they were doing. But is that the problem? Or is it you, the problem, that continues to fall for the grift? That's what you got to look at. I don't know, Cold Blood. Me and you have had this discussion before, and I think it's worth having these last few moments of this podcast here. Who do you blame? I know we talked about this before, and you've said, and I'm only saying this because I know how much you hate repeating yourself. But you've blamed the creators. You said, hey, look, it's the creators that have fooled people. And people like Colt, they're the ones to blame for people thinking the way that they do. Do you still believe that? Because I know I differed on that, but I want to know, what do you think now that these guys now all of a sudden are turning a new leaf and talking truth to fiction?
Well, they believed a lot of these fucking lies that they were told.
Oh shit, Mag is in the chat. Go ahead, keep going.
No, a lot of these dudes that apparently are developers been talking to them about, Resident Evil runs like shit on PlayStation, so the Xbox wasn't going to be the definitive version, and then everybody just jumped on this shit. It was a fucking fail in the end. Nothing like that happened at all. They said VRS gonna be the fucking game changer. Nah, just made the games look worse. Like, bro, their ammo was always just some blanks, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best explanation I have. Just some blanks from people that are apparently in the know, but they really wasn't. And now that they see it themselves that everything is going to PlayStation, they just give up. Like, it's a fucking malfunction now, bro. I don't know who to blame, really. I mean, to blame the ones that told them the lie is not really... I don't know. No, I'm still blaming them, bro. Because they did not fact check any of this, started talking shit, got proven wrong time and time again, and they're fucking tired of this now. They're tired of the lies, they're tired of Phil Spencer,
mm-hmm.
They're tired of the fucking brand.
Yeah.
The only two dudes that are still holding the fucking line that I see right now are Hagit and his friend Boomstick. Everyone else kind of gave up, bro. Because they see it themselves. Even the Xbox fanboys don't even want to hear this shit anymore. You can be lied to only so much. Like 4 years straight of lying, bro. At some point, you're getting tired of this.
Yeah.
No, I blame bro. I blame themselves for this shit. They put themselves in this position, and now they just gonna have to accept it.
All right. So we got Mag waiting. Go ahead.
No, all good.
Hold on one second. I just want to do this because I just want to make sure it's you, Mag. All right, Mag, we're gonna drag you in. Get your 2 cents on this, being how you're connected to this. Get your thoughts on this. Here we go. We're bringing in Mag. There he goes. The man of the hour. Hold on, Mag.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Jesus Christ. Can everybody hear me loud and clear?
Hell yeah.
Can you guys hear Mag?
I would imagine they can. If you guys can hear it, then yeah.
Okay, good. What's up, brother? What's going on?
What?
With that beautiful sounding
Listen,
mic.
let me tell you something. I just got in from New York, and I just crossed Canadian soil, and I'm just like, I turn on the show as soon as I get in the house, and I'm like, what are these guys talking about today? And I'm like, what are they talking about today? And I'm like, holy crap, I got it. And you know the thing is, you know how many people tag me? I woke up in my hotel room this morning, and I'm getting tagged left, right, and center, and the exact clip because of what the hell's his name there? That guy something acts. What is his name?
Oh, Jamie Zach. Yeah.
Jamie Zach. Yeah. Jamie. He's clipped. Now let me tell you something. That motherfucker's clipped me a bunch of times too because I'm the one who talks shit, and then he'll pan over to Colt's reaction, and then he'll do that thing, right? And then he does that, right? So I'm getting clipped right in center. They're like, Mag, you gotta check this shit out. You gotta check this shit out. You gotta check this shit out. And I'm like, wow, what the hell's going on? And they're like, this is Web Day's show from last night. I'm like, all right. So I'm listening to it, and I'm like, I don't get what the big deal is. And here's the thing. This is what really pissed me off. 2 weeks ago, I'm sure you guys heard about it. I don't know. They tried to cancel me again.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I went on the Crossfire.
And
I was literally saying the same thing I said on this channel, on this show and everything else. And I'm like, listen, I didn't say I'm not playing my Xbox at all. I didn't say I threw it out the window. I didn't say I put it in the garbage compactor and crush it like Terminator 2. I didn't do any of these things. You know what I mean? I just said that I'm playing more on my PlayStation this generation because it was speaking more to me and whatever else, right? And the absolute psychotic 5% of like that hardcore toxic assholes, whatever, they came after me like a motherfucker, right? And these guys came after me so hard. And I did a guest spot on Boom Show, and they were literally bombing the chat. They were sending super chats telling me to get off the show. And I swear to God. And I'm like, these guys are crazy. The funny thing is, Cold Blood, I'm not making this shit up. It was crazy. I mean, the amount people were telling me to kill myself live on the air. What? It was fucking
I believe it.
Yeah, not on the mic, I'm saying, but like people in the chat and stuff,
yeah, exactly.
Right?
And
then the comments after, these people were insane. So anyways, I'm like, whatever, man. I'm like, you know what? And I said it, and I said it plain and clear. I said, listen, if Xbox releases a great game, I will play it on Xbox. I have no problem with that. If they release 2, if they release 3, if they release 4, if they release 5, I will continue to play there. I said, but what they need to do is they need to go and hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big games in a row in order to turn the narrative around. You cannot turn the narrative around with, let's just say, Black Ops 6. I mean, that's kind of like my women. It's for the streets. I love that. You know what I mean? So that's I don't count that as an exclusive. However, it's still theirs. Yeah. All right. So let's say that's a big hit. Boom. That's number one. You remember the movie Tombstone? When Wyatt Earp is standing on the train station when his brother's leaving, and then the cowboy comes up and he's like, "I'm coming after you, law dog," and then Wyatt Earp shoots him in the back, and then he points to his brother and he holds up the finger and he goes 1, which means that's the first one. Let's go. And then he kills like 25 cowboys after that in the big action sequence. The point is if you look at Black Ops 6 and it hits hard, that's when Xbox can lift the finger and say 1. Then they got a hit with Indy Jones. I know a lot of people who flew out to California to play it, so we'll find out. I already know what happened, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. But either way, we'll see what happens with Indy Jones. If it hits, then you got 2. Now you're starting to build something. And then the next one is Avowed. And if that sinks, let's say it doesn't hit at all, you're back to square one. And this is all I've been trying to say. I'm not shit talking anything. I'm not canceling my thing. I'm not throwing my Xbox out the window. Like I said, it's just if you do not have momentum, how can you expect people to be able to like continue to engage in the ecosystem? And that's what I was trying to say. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this all up, I didn't come in the show to talk about me. That show last night is you can see that a lot of people in the Xbox community, especially the people who are the pillars of that community, are starting to speak out because they're like, it's just not working. And there's only so long that you can lie to yourself. And if you can't lie to yourself anymore, then the truth is eventually going to come out. Let me tell you something. There's a guy who I know, Gary from Nerdrotic. He's got 1.2 million subs. Big time YouTuber, right? Does the whole Hollywood thing and all that kind of shit, right? Yeah. And anyways, you know what he says? And I hold this true to my heart, and that's why I changed. By the way, my name is now the MAGG Show because my channel is launching. My solo channel is launching in a few weeks. Now the thing is that he said authenticity is the currency of the future. Mm-hmm. It says stop lying to yourself, stop lying to get clicks, stop lying to your fans and to your people. Just tell it like it is, and the right people will come along.
Yeah.
And when the right people come along, that's what you want. So he keeps repeating it every week. He says authenticity is the currency of the future. And that is and you see it. And you see it. And after that show last night, you see it sneaking its way in there. Not as aggressive as I am, because I could be a prick about it because I don't give a fuck.
But
I just tell it like it is.
That's what we are. We're you know,
well, you know what I mean?
Being true to form.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So, you know, the thing is, I'll just say it like it is. I don't give a fuck. I'll just be like, listen, yes, I do have a social filter, but when it comes to YouTube or whatever else, I'm just going to say it like it is because I'm a paying customer. And if you're not delivering to me as a paying customer, then you're going to hear about it. Or if you are, you know, and whatever else, right? Like, I got a PS5 Pro coming. I'm very excited for it. I bought a new monitor. It's going to be so kick-ass. You know, 4K, 120 FPS, the whole 9 yards. Great. I can't wait. So therefore, you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is that as a paying customer, they're supplying me with something that I actually want to do. Now, the other ones still have something to prove because for me, this generation, they've been letting me down over and over and over. So that was all I was trying to say. So now you see other people starting to speak about it. However, I will say this. When you look at someone like Cold, when he talks about, like, let's say, for example, Starfield, he liked it. I did not. And some people look at him and say, oh, he's a fucking grifter and this and that. He actually has 320 plus hours in Starfield. So, like, he puts the time into them. So if he likes something, he doesn't like a grifter would put 5 hours into something, like one of these IGN editors. They'll play 5 hours of a game and then they'll do a review. Right? They'll do a review after 5 hours. Fuck those guys. But you look at someone like Colt who put in 320 hours into a game and you're like, holy shit, this guy really put it through its paces. He has the right to say what he wants. If he thinks the game is fantastic, clearly he does. Who the fuck would put in 320 hours in a game if he didn't like it? So I just have to say that when it comes to like people grifting or whatever else, I find that it's not those people. You know what I mean? Like even Fonz too. Fonz buys all the games and he plays them and he puts in tons of hours into them. So when he speaks, I listen because I'm like, all right, this guy's actually finished whatever. Wukong, he's actually put in 100 plus hours in Starfield or whatever. And so I listen to people like that. What I'm finding in your discussion, what you were asking about Cold Blood about 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, saying who do you think is pushing these things? It's Xbox pushing them or it's PlayStation pushing them. And they're hoping that the people that are their fans or their YouTube channels or people who have all those things is that they're just going to mimic or parrot what's being said from up top and then hopefully carry it on in order to carry on whatever kind of narrative that they're trying to do. And that's what I'm finding is happening. So it's coming from, you know what? I work with a lot of West Indies people, okay? You know what they always say? The fish stinks from the head. And you know what I mean? And so it starts at the top and then it moves its way down. And that's where it all comes from. It all comes from them. And they're like, don't worry, these guys will grift for us or whatever else. And they do say that, by the way. They do say that. There's a lot of shit that they say behind the scenes. They're hoping that we console war. They don't like people like me because I'm a critical thinker. And they don't like critical, just like the government. They don't like critical thinkers. They don't like people that could think for themselves and say, listen, I'm a consumer. I don't give a shit what you're peddling. If it's not quality, I'm not giving you my money. That's the way it works. And they don't want people like me. They don't want that. They want people who are willing to just go out there and just say, this is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome, this is the best deal in gaming, this is whatever. Oh, this is amazing, this is the best, whatever. And, or even on the PlayStation side, I'm paying $100 for every single game that comes out, don't give a shit, blah, blah, blah. I do not. I balk on those things, right? And that's why they don't like people like me. But I could tell you right now, it starts from the top and it spills its way down to the bottom. Whoever decides to do that, the sad part is the people that do grift for those things, they're doing that on their own accord and not making any money off of it. I don't fucking get it. Why are you doing this? Is it some kind of flex? Do you have no friends? Are you not getting pussy? What is the problem?
Yeah, I all of the above. All of the above. I think these are people that do that. Like I hate to say this. I'm not trying to be mean to anybody that's on the other end of the mic that this might apply to. But, you know, Cold Blood and I, we love talking our shit. This is our number one hobby. You too, Mag, right?
Yeah.
But when we shut these mics off, like Cold Blood has shit to do in real life. I do, you do. A lot of these people don't. So this is more like a cotton club to them. You know what I mean? They don't even play fucking games. You know, this is more of a cotton club. Now, I may look at, you know, people like Fonz, and I don't have a problem. Like Fonz and I have talked behind the scenes. Well, I don't have a problem with Fonz. We disagree on a lot of shit. We've argued and agreed on a lot of shit. Laughed behind the scenes. All of this stuff. I look at people like Fonz, and I hate to talk about him because he's not here to defend himself. I look at people like Fonz and I see what he was saying before versus what he's saying now. That was part of my criticism. But to that point, that whole discussion, I personally don't blame the creators. I don't. There's only so much time that you can piss on my head and tell me it's raining. It's up to the consumers. But if you're a consumer that actually was sitting waiting for Xbox to do XYZ, you got to be able to distinguish between those that might be saying something that is not aligned with your consumer values, and you have to make a move. Like me, you know how difficult it was for me, MAGG, to admit after almost decades of hating PlayStation, to say, you know what, this is where I got to go to get to it. It tore me apart, but I had to do what's best for me as a consumer, and you probably likely went through the same thing. We can't blame Colt Eastwood for that. We can't blame Fonz for that. You had to make your own best decision as a consumer. So
that's all I've been trying to say. That's all I've been trying to say. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just trying to underline that. That's my takeaway from it is that can I criticize some of the things that this person may have said and give my opinion on it? Sure, and I got a video coming out towards this. I'm not capping at all because my brother MAGG is here. I'm saying that this is what's in my video that I pre-recorded well before we even did the show. You guys that are on the other end of this mic, you got to look in the fucking mirror. You can sit there and blame me for when I came and I was doing my shit, my capping. You can try to blame MAGG. You can try to blame me. You can blame Cold Blood or whatever. You can try to blame anybody. And Porter Rock said this. We don't fucking know you. We don't even know a lot of your first names. Right. How can we be that much of a deciding factor of your taste? That's like you saying, hey, MAGG, bite into the sandwich and tell me if I'm going to like it. How the fuck is he going to know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and
you got to get in front of, you guys got to get in front of this and understand that we should just be a tool to help you make some decisions if you're on the fence. But we are not, nobody's pointing a gun to your head telling you, you got to buy this, you got to buy that. You got to look at what Xbox, like MAGG just said, what is Phil doing out there? What did he promise you? What did he say was going to happen this generation? And check off or put an X next to the things that he did execute on and didn't execute on and that you care about. And when you see more X's than check marks, then you got to make that decision. You can't blame Colt, can't blame MAGG, can't blame Fonch, can't blame me, can't blame Cold Blood. That's just my takeaway from it.
Right. And you know, the thing is that's bothersome at the end of the day is that when people argue, and it's fine, you can argue and I can disagree. All the people that I do shows with and some of the biggest names in the business, ACG and everything else, I've done shows with them. I've disagreed with them. I've agreed with them. All right. And Destin Legary did show with him. We actually had some common ground in the show we did. But when I'm talking on these shows and we're doing these things or whatever, we have an understanding that I have an opinion, you have an opinion, and they can walk away from it. However, there's something that hovers above everybody's head, and this is something that people fail to see, is that regardless of opinion, there is a truth that's hanging in the air right in between the two people talking, and you gotta once in a while take a look up at that truth cloud hanging above you. Exactly. And the thing is, at the end of the night, when I got people criticizing me, it's fine. You could criticize me all you want. You could tell me to go kill myself. You could tell me throw myself off a building, do all this other bullshit that you want to do. Fine, go ahead. I know it is, but you know what? Say what you want to say. Hate me. Tell me that I ruined Boom's show because I did a 1 hour guest spot on it. Which, by the way, we talked about how awesome Halo was for an hour. But these people are so fucking stupid. They couldn't get past the fact that whatever. Andrew Wilkins said in the chat here. He said the chat in Boom's show lied and said I haven't turned on my Xbox in years, and that was the narrative going around because some fuckface clipped me on Twitter and posted it, and then it went viral. And I'm like, you clipped 20 seconds. You didn't clip the full 5 minutes of what I was saying, so you didn't get the context. The funny part is, which of course I mentioned the next week when I was on Cold Show, I said, you know, it's funny they say that. And I said, I haven't turned it on in 4 years, yet I finished Hellblade 2. Didn't like it, but I finished it. And then I went back, and you know what I did? I screenshotted it, and I called them out live on the air. I screenshotted the achievement percentage on Hellblade 2. To complete the game was 7% of people completed the game.
The same people that want you to jump off a cliff. Yeah, they
7
finish the game.
fucking
Yeah.
percent. So you tell me that all those people talking shit about me, 100% are part of the 93% who never finished the fucking game to begin with. What was the other one? The rhythm game. What the fuck was that game called? Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush. I have it right here. 4.3% of people finished the game.
Fucking crap. Yeah.
Not even 10% got to the 4th level.
Yeah.
So you tell me who's the fucking fraud. I have almost 500,000 gamer score, right? So you know what I mean. And then and I've got 43 platinums just this generation, just in the PS5 generation, and I got almost 500,000 gamer score. So you tell me who's the fucking fraud. So when I say something that I'm saying, listen, they're just not doing it for me right now. They're not. So the thing is, late at night, after they go to bed and they say, "Oh, I told Mag to go kill himself," so I feel better about myself. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna masturbate to gay porn, and then I'm gonna lie down, and then I'm gonna stare. Because here's the thing: at the end of it all, when you turn off those lights and you're staring at the ceiling and you're about to drift off into sleep, that's when the truth comes to you, and that's when you sit there and go, "You know what? That motherfucker is right. There is nothing to play right now." Because you know the truth, you just hide it. You don't want to see it. The problem is people are narcissistic. People are not true to themselves.
Yeah.
And because of that, you're not going to get an honest opinion or an honest answer about what's going on because people are too busy bickering instead of worrying about paying for a product. Imagine that Hyundai releases 4 years of cars that fall apart in the first month. Yet you're lined up at the Hyundai dealership to go buy another one. Are you out of your fucking mind? Why why is this industry different? Why do people so voraciously fight over something that whether you choose to believe it, listen, I personally don't think they've been delivering. And you know what? I'm not alone. There's a lot of big content creators out there who are saying it quietly, and they're slowly but surely saying the quiet part out loud because they're getting fed up because now it's been like 10 years. I've been saying it from day one. Of course, they come after me because I, shoot the messenger, right? I'm just the guy who's pointing it out. But I point it out really loud. These guys are pointing it out very gently. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, they're approaching it like, they're... Fuck, this is going to be so awful. I'm saying this. I don't care. They're approaching it like anal sex, okay? 1 inch at a time. They're pushing it in. Then the next thing you know, you're going, oh, the whole thing's in there. Me? It's like prison sex. I come in there and just be like, I'm feeling romantical.
I can't believe you did that to me. That hurt so bad.
Exactly. It just goes in all the way. No easing in, okay? I just go in there, grab you by the neck. I'm feeling romantical. Boom. And then it's it. So that's why they come after me because I come out so strong, I guess, and I come out so aggressive about it. I don't mean to be. It's just my personality. And the problem is people have a hard time with that because it comes across as abrasive, which I'm not an abrasive person. It's just when I speak, I tend to tell people like it is. So the funny thing is when I was talking about all the shit back in January, February, whatever else, what ends up happening? It came true 8 months later. And but it took 8 months of slowly easing into the narrative that now you see the same people that came after me. What are they saying now? They're like, well, it's just the natural progression. And I'm like, 8 months ago, you wanted to crucify me for saying that.
Yeah.
Because I just say it. And then, but you see what's happening now? Now it's slowly coming out. And now you're seeing content creators talking about these things or whatever. I'm not saying Xbox is doomed. Not at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that there is a frustration out there and they need to fix it. So I think that Black Ops 1 is going to be part 1. If Indy Jones lands, I can't talk. Someone asked me in the chat about Indy Jones. I can't talk about it.
Andrew Wilkins. Yeah, with the one.
Oh, it was Andrew Wilkins. Yeah, I can't talk about it. So he sent a member chat. He said, "Sup, Mag? Do you think Indy looks bad and will flop?" We will have to talk about it in a few weeks, and then we can go back to it. But yeah, that's what ends up happening. So you see that people are slowly coming. And so I think that people just like the pillow lay down before they get pushed off the cliff. You know what I mean? As opposed to me who gives them the Spartan kick off the cliff. Like kicking the Persian guy into the endless pit in the movie 300.
Sometimes
it's like, that's me. Yeah. I do that. And people don't like that. So, right?
But that's what people need sometimes.
They need it sometimes. And I think that just people just be like, oh, man, can you be a little more gentle? No. I can't because this is not my personal life. This is a business. And I don't mean YouTube. I mean, the video game business is a business. So I'm just going to call it like it is.
Yeah.
And by the way, I have a list. Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
What were you going to say? What are you going to say?
No, this is unrelated. This is unrelated. I'll say it at the end.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, it's like, you give him the Sparta kick or you give him the fucking, the Rick James, Charlie Murphy kick. Oh, I think I'm bleeding. from inside of my chest. You need that because this is our favorite go-to. And trust me, as someone that does this from the business, not in gaming, but does this from the business side, when you hold their feet to the fire and like, we're not going to take it, they respond to this shit. This is how you get a response from them. So, you know, you don't have to appease them and act like a lawyer on behalf of these companies. They don't need you to do that. They're going to try to get you to do it because it's free marketing and whatever, but it's not in your best interest to do it. But Cold-Blood, before Mag goes into his additional info, did you have any other thoughts on this?
On what exactly?
Or on what he was saying in regards to, well, the people attacking. And I just want to say this, man. You know, we got.
Bro, even I got death threats, bro. I believe him every single word.
Yeah,
trust me.
I'm not making that shit up. That's all real.
Yeah, we got tough skin here. That shit's ridiculous. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're sickos, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there are people who are really like mentally ill. They need to seek mental help. Like you should have seen the chat section. Even the post when I did Primetime Gaming, which by the way, I used to be a member of for 3 years. And I came back and did a guest spot and literally every comment was about me, saying that I ruined the show. I did this and that. And you know what I talked about? I talked about my love for Halo for 1 hour. And these guys couldn't get, yeah, no kidding. Because I love Halo. And they couldn't get past the fact that it was me. It's kind of like that, you know, that whole, I'm not going to get into political stuff. I'm not going to bother saying it. But, you know, they just can't get past that it was me. They didn't listen to a single fucking word I said. Because if they did, they'd be like, oh, MAGG is saying wonderful things about Halo and the history of Halo, probably more than these fucking assholes ever know anything about the game. Play it. So, yeah. And so I know, and I've played all of them and, you know, to completion, almost every single one. So, you know, they didn't listen to a word I said. They couldn't get past the fact that it was me on the show because I had some, you know, there was some connotation with me with Crossfire where I said some disparaging things about Xbox. Right. And so because of that, that's insanity to me. And like I said, this Friday, by the way, coming up. Oh, and that was another thing. So after all this bullshit, right, I'm looking at my numbers going, fuck, I'm going to have a whole bunch of people like unfollow me. But my numbers grew. Oh, yeah. And not only that, you want to hear something even more insane? I had over 250 people add me on the Xbox in the last 4 days.
Hey.
I don't know what's happening. It's almost like they were. So you know what I was saying? I'm actually, first of all, this Friday, because it's going to be on Game Pass or whatever, I'm actually going to be hosting a whole shitload of community game nights or whatever for Call of Duty, and I'm going to be streaming a lot of it on YouTube.
That's what Xbox needs, bro. Like I said,
so like, what's the problem?
Let me read this to you, Mag, real quick, just because I want people to know that this is not about an Xbox hate fest. Well, maybe it is for Cold-Blood. No, it ain't about an Xbox hate fest. Like truly, this is like wake the fuck up, the Sparta kick to the chest or the Charlie Murphy kick to the chest, whatever. This is the last segment of my video. I said, and looking back, consumers on social media failed Xbox. You didn't hold them accountable. You didn't hold creators accountable, thus creating an atmosphere based on talk but no play. Where were the game streams? Instead, you idolize people cozying up to execs, free previews, flown out, all this other stuff, all the while you got nothing in return. Your worst elements of being a sicko fan came back to bite you and is simply no longer valued at Xbox. I think the bigger question isn't, are these creators authentic? A dog is going to bark. The question is, how important is it to you that the voices around you be authentic or simply for you to belong? That's
all we're asking for.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. That's exactly all I'm asking for is authenticity in the end. And the thing is, okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I get a little bit carried away when I go on Crossfire because when Mooch and I get going, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like a truck rolling downhill. You know what I mean? Like it's like try and press the brakes, right? You can't do it, so you might as well just keep going
and right and shit.
Yeah, and right through the front gates of the compound. You're gonna smash through that thing. So when Mooch and I get going, shit happens. Things get wild. And even Colt gave me shit about it. He's like, dude, he goes, you were right, but you took it too far. And I'm like, I know, I've got a little bit out of control, but. Yeah. That's me. I'm Italian. Mooch is Italian. We start fucking yapping away. The hands start flying up in the air. You know how Italians get. And shit got wild. You know what I mean? And then I started getting a little bit aggressive, and I started saying some shit. And I'm like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, I wasn't wrong. I just made my delivery might have been a little bit extreme. Yeah. But it is what it is. It's all part of the show, too. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's not part of the show. I'm being authentic. However, we're still putting on a show. And as a result of putting on a show, you kind of get carried away when you're entertaining. So I got a little bit carried away. However, I wasn't wrong. But the thing is, and I said, listen, you give me something quality to play, I will fucking play it there. So, for example, this Friday, I'm going to be playing Call of Duty on Xbox, and I'm going to be playing with the community. I got thousands and thousands of people on the Xbox on my Xbox community, whatever the hell you call it, network or friends list and all that shit. And we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff, live streaming on YouTube, doing all that stuff on my channel, blah 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 blah. I haven't heard about any upgrades for the PS5 Pro. Nothing. Have you guys noticed that, by the way? You find that a little weird? Yeah. I mean, like, they even talked about Diablo 4 having PS5 Pro enhancements. I haven't heard shit for Call of Duty. So I'm like, I'm not going to buy it for PS5 Pro if it doesn't have like massive amounts of enhancements. So I'm just going to play it on Xbox. If Indy Jones hits, I'm going to be playing it on Xbox. And if it's amazing, I will be happy to buy it again on the PS5 Pro and play it at 4K fucking 60 FPS, if not higher. 120, maybe 120 because it's first person. You never know. Right? I'll do that. But you have to hold up your end of the bargain and provide me with a quality product. How the fuck is that my fault if they don't? But they're blaming me and other people for it. That's not right. You need to go past the people who are talking, and you have to do the people who are creating. And you know what I mean? And putting out that product. And that's what has to happen at the end of the day. And that's all I came in here to say. However, I do have some interesting news, though. You guys want to hear this?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Devil Shooter's going nuts over here. He's asked me like 4 times. I have some words. Whether people want to believe me or not, that's entirely up to you. But I have some things here about what's actually in active development for the PlayStation and Switch 2. You care to hear about it?
This is first. You're hearing it from MAGG.
Wait. Are you going to get in trouble for this?
Absolutely. No, I'm not. Good. I'm not gonna.
That is true.
I haven't even spilled it on the XNC because, we just haven't got to that yet. And you know, the thing is that I don't know. I don't even know if I will. If we're gonna go down that road. Yeah. However, I could tell you that they're actively working on, which you already know, Doom: The Dark Ages. You already know about that. Indy Jones, you already know about that. Black Ops 6. This is the list I received. Black Ops 6, absolutely. Now, here's the ones you didn't know. Avowed is currently being worked on for the PS5 and PS5 Pro. Blade for 5 in the Pro. Perfect Dark for 5 in the Pro. Fable for the 5 in the Pro. And Gears of War E-Day will be coming. Siding with Xbox development.
Oh, hold on. We couldn't hear you. Oh, they're trying to close down your line. Oh, shit. Oh.
Oh, wow. Did I cut out?
Yeah, you cut out. Oh, my God.
Oh, wow. See, to me, I sound fabulous. Being currently in development coinciding with the Xbox development is Gears of War E-Day.
So you're talking about possibly day and date.
It's possible, but not confirmed. The last one... This is also, and this is from somebody inside Xbox Game Studios, by the way, talking to me about this. Did you hear the Fable part? I wasn't sure if Fable got through.
Yeah.
And the last one is not the Halo remake, but the new Halo first, the first part, like the actual like new inline. Yes, that new Halo game will be going to PlayStation 5 and Pro and possibly PS6, depending on how long the development cycle
takes. Yeah.
Yes, but not the Halo, the Halo 1 remake that might come at a later date.
Okay.
Not 100% sure. Or like I said, plans change. Maybe they decide to do it. Now, the thing is, if you think about it, it's like, we're doing a full Halo reboot. We changed the name of the company. Gears of War, we're not doing a Gears 6. We're going back to the beginning. You know why they're doing all that? Because they're introducing it to a whole new generation of players on Xbox, PC, and a whole new audience on the PlayStation. And that's why they're going back to day one with Gears, and they're going back to day one with Halo. There's your answers.
So I know our audience in totality don't care too much about this platform, but I'm still interested because the Switch 2 is coming out. Which ones did you mention for Switch? In case people missed it.
No. That was the funny part. I asked about the Switch stuff. It said some of them are coming to Switch, but there was no, what the hell is it called? There was no, there's no guaranteed list or whatever. No, no confirmation. That's the word I was looking for as to which ones were being. But I would imagine with the rough specs that we have of the Switch too, that you're not going to be getting you're not going to be getting a Perfect Dark. I don't think you're going to get I don't think you're going to be getting a Fable on there. I think you're going to get more of the multiplayer games. I could see a Halo on there. I could see maybe a dumbed down version of Gears of War E-Day. Because I mean, look at right now. Like Call of Duty's coming out for all the systems and last generation, right?
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here? Yeah, we're going to be playing it on
Wait, Mac, wait.
Yeah.
But they had a Gears game for the longest time, Gears Pop.
Yeah. Not wrong. You're not wrong. So you know what I mean? I could see a dumbed down version for a Switch 2. So they just cut it back a little bit. I mean, and like I said, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is literally coming out for 3 generations.
Yeah.
Like it's coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, PS5, PS5 Pro, and the Xbox Series consoles and PC. Like you could see like the broad spectrum of specs that are going to be utilized for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, that's a situation. So like that's why I think that the multiplayer games are going to remain. Now, like I said, I have no confirmation. I spoke to the person and asked specifically about the Switch 2 stuff, and he says he wasn't 100% sure, but he did say that a lot of the big studios have all received their Switch 2 dev kits already.
Okay.
So they're already in-house, as well as the PlayStation 5 and obviously PlayStation 5 Pro dev kits they've had those since last year, since 2023, excuse me. So so interesting stuff, eh? So I mean, some of them we knew, like give me a break, like we knew that Blade was coming, but like the other ones like Halo and Gears are also coming, Fable. And Fable, the one Fable surprised me a bit, but then like that opens the door. Let's face it, do you think they're gonna block Elder Scrolls 6 when you've got upwards of 100 million PlayStations in the wild?
They've learned. They've learned that lesson.
Wait. What I didn't hear is Starfield and Forza.
No, I did not. Well, he didn't say those either. No, I'm not saying they're not. It's just that that's the list. That's the new list that he said that they've been working on.
That's
so
the more current
maybe Starfield and that's the current stuff they're working on. Maybe Forza and Starfield were already. I've already heard that it was already in development. Even Coulter said the same thing. They said it was supposed to. The rumor was it was going to be announced for I think June of this year. Sorry, June of 2025. Excuse me. After the DLC dropped. And I'm like, well, the DLC already dropped. I mean, June 2025 is like 10 months after that. So anyway, that's the word. So maybe that's already the book is closed on that. So he's talking about stuff that's openly
that's still pending that we haven't really got much confirmation on. Yeah, no,
that is correct. So anyways, I just wanted to drop that in there.
Yeah, no,
interesting. There you go, dude.
Mag, I think we're at the point now to where, like you said, we talked about the community now just coming to grips, with stuff, and now they're in an acceptance stage in the whole grief motif stage. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's good to have these conversations and to hear you say these things, not so someone gets some victory online, but to rip the scab off and say, look, man, this is happening. It is what it is. So move on from here. You know what I mean? So consumers can know what best to expect. You know what I mean? So
just release great games.
Yeah,
that's all it is. I don't care where it's going.
Make them good.
Just make them good. I don't care where they're going, where it goes. And I actually said this on Boom Show, funny enough, and I think that's what pissed off a lot of people in the chat. Telling me to whatever. The thing is, you know what I said? I said, Phil Spencer likes me more than you. And then they're like, what? And I said, you know why? I said, because I'm going to play those games on Game Pass, and if they're really good, I'm going to buy them on PlayStation. And Phil Spencer's going to get a small smidgen of money from me from Game Pass, but he's going to make 70% publisher fee when I buy it on PlayStation 5. I said, so who do you think he likes more? You think he likes the guy who's only playing on Game Pass, or do you think he likes guys like me where he makes a 70% cut of a full price game? I said, I think Phil likes me more than you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, but you got to back it up with quality. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for anything else. Quality. Just give me quality, and that's all I want.
Like that. They didn't like
that.
Oh,
they didn't like that. And you know what? You think Phil gives a fuck? Are you kidding me? He makes $70 off a $100 game. Well, I mean, the game's up here in Canada, $100 with tax and everything, right? And the exchange rate between U.S. and Canada. So it's about $100. Phil's making $70 off of me every time I buy a game on PlayStation. I said he probably wants more people to buy on PlayStation than to play on Game Pass. Game Pass, he's going to be losing his shirt, right? Even though some people are like, it's profitable. It's somewhat profitable, but they've cut back considerably to make that profitable, and the numbers aren't growing the way that they wanted it to. I'm not saying they're not growing. It's just not growing the way they want it to. Same thing with Halo. Like, people freaked out when I talked about how I did not say Halo was not profitable. I said Halo did not reach the financial targets that Microsoft had set for the game.
Yeah,
that's all I said. But people are fucking idiots, and all they said was like, Max said it was not profitable. And I'm like, that's not what I said. But okay, whatever you want to fucking believe. Anyway, same thing here. So you know what? I think he wants us to buy those games piecemeal. But anyways, I'll continue to do so. I'll play it on my Game Pass, and I'll buy the games on PlayStation if they're quality. I have no problem getting 1,000 on Xbox and a platinum on PlayStation. Let's go.
Yeah.
But you got to give me quality, and that's why I'm playing this weekend to prove a point. Well, I mean, also because I love Call of Duty. I'm going to be playing Call of Duty on Xbox because I'm like, you're releasing a great game, so now you got the MAG's attention. Now you're going to get the community's attention. I'm going to be broadcasting it. I'm going to be putting it out there. I'm going to be, not advertising it, but basically it's advertising in a way. So it's out there in the streets for everybody to see. That's what you got to do. And then I'm going to encourage the Xbox community. I said, listen, you fucking frauds. None of this 7%. None of this 7% completion rate bullshit. Yeah. I want to see 100% completion rate. Fuck you.
That's
fucking 7%.
That's the biggest thing that's hurting the community, and that's why I would assess, and you can tell me what you think about this, Mag, and then we'll close out. I think people are mad that Xbox pulled back on the ambassadors program and some of the other things. I think Xbox is looking at it because it's a business. They're like, okay, this is what we're going to do, the expenditures and shit that we're going to cascade for marketing purposes. And so you guys are out here talking about how great Xbox is, but you're not showing anybody. Like, nobody's playing any games. I make a reference in my video about, God forbid, Stadia that only had 1%, that was only going for 1% of the market. We were sitting there talking to Google and saying, hey, look, we're doing PUBG events where there's 100 of us and we're going against people online on other platforms and shit. Hey, would you guys like to sponsor this? And we're showing how cool it is to play on Stadia. And I see and God forbid, Google had an uphill battle from the very beginning. Microsoft, not so much. Like, you're Microsoft, you're on the main stage. Where the fuck are the community nights? Where the fuck are where is the gameplay? Where is the community coming together and showing people how cool Game Pass is, how cool this is? And there's all this fucking talk, but no game. And that's why I'm not even mad at people like Thrash, Mag, when they ask what your gamer score is. I don't even get mad anymore. My gamer score is shit, but I'm not mad because they're making people accountable. Where is the gameplay? And I think that's so important for you to do. And I think a lot of people, creator-wise, in the community, they're missing out on that. You missed out on the opportunity to show people how cool this shit was. And because of that, Xbox is like, we're not giving you any more free cookies and milk anymore. Sorry, you're not Santa. Right. You're not giving us any gifts. And they backed away. So
right, yeah. That's like I said, what it comes down to at the end of the day is that they were looking for that engagement. You're not going to get the engagement if it's not up to quality. Like, for example, I want to go back to Hellblade here. Hellblade is a 5 if you're lucky, 5 hour experience, and 7% couldn't even finish 5 hours. Cold Blood played it.
Yep.
Right? He suffered through it. And like, you know what? That man suffered through it, and like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Yeah, exactly. 7% couldn't even finish. I bet maybe it's up a little bit now, but I mean, that was the last time I checked. And then like, it was like 4.3% or whatever the hell it was got to finished Hi-Fi Rush, and less than 10% got to the 4th level. What are we talking about? That means that people are doing exactly what they're accusing, like, for example, Game Pass users of doing. Sampling it, farting around, throw in the garbage. Take one bite, throw it over their head, and into the garbage. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at this piece of chicken. Take one bite and throw the rest in the garbage.
The garbage. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like not finish the whole goddamn thing to the bone. They just take one bite and throw it out. You know, like that's not that's what's happening. And because of that, people are not engaging. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, listen, Xbox, you have one job to do. Release quality games. If you do that, then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn around and say, well, now we're going to reward you with engagement. And I'm going to push for engagement.
Yeah. Yep.
Suck the Xbox's dick this hard, then guess what? Let me see you get that 1,000 out of 1,000 on Call of Duty. Trust me, it ain't that hard, okay? I 1,000'd almost every Call of Duty, and I've platinumed, I think, 5 or 6 of them in the last couple of years. Right? So it's not that big of a deal. Let me see you go do that now that you release quality. Because I don't want to hear anybody going out there talking shit and doing all this and that and whatever, and then they go out there and they're like, and then they don't even get past the 3rd level.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm gonna be out there and I'm gonna be standing right there like a drill sergeant, making sure these frauds climb over that wall with the rope and get to the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Private Pile. I'm gonna be screaming like the guy from Full Metal Jacket. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And
so I will do that.
I'll join you, you know, because I'm not at a point to where I would even get the console, but I have Game Pass, and if there's something on Game Pass that I feel like is cool, I'll play. You know what I mean? I'll do.
It's got to be quality first.
Yeah.
So let's start with step 1. Okay. Step 1 is release the quality. Then we will come. You know, if you build it, if you build it, he will come. Same idea. Okay, so give us the quality first, then we'll come out and play it. So let's see. Like I have no doubt that Black Ops is gonna hit. Okay, I have no doubt about it. I didn't like the beta because everybody was flopping around like a dolphin with that stupid new mechanic. You know, the one with the diving everywhere. Yeah, it was so fucking stupid. It was so irritating to watch. I'm on the 2nd floor of a condo looking down at all these idiots flopping around like dead fish, and I'm going, the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
No one does this in war. You know what I mean? And so, anyways, I'm watching it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I think the game's going to hit. Zombies is going to be great. Multiplayer is going to do what it's going to do. And let's face it, it's got that Robert Redford motherfucker from Cold War in the campaign. I'm in because I loved him in Cold War. I loved the game. Cold War was fantastic. I think it's one of my favorite Call of Duties ever. And
I don't.
I'm really... What? Really? I loved Cold War.
Look, if my PlayStation keeps turning off for like a whole minute and can't be turned on again because this fucking game is always doing that to me, I don't like this game. I don't want this game to be played on my PlayStation anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Fair enough. It depends on each person's experience, right? And I'm not gonna argue anybody else's opinion. I respect people's opinion. So I'm gonna tell you, but for me, I thought Cold War was one of the best. So if this is a sequel to that, which it is, I'm all in. I mean, you got George W. and you got Clinton in there doing his thing, and I said, what are our options? You know, and all that shit and whatever. I'm in. So I'm excited. So and of course, let's face it, we're all old enough. Maybe not cold blood, but you and I are old enough. We lived through this shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we got to see this stuff. We got to see some of it. So I'm excited. I think it's gonna hit. Therefore, you're gonna be rewarded with my engagement. That's how it's gonna work. And that's how it's going. And I'm going to encourage the community to do the same. And let me see if they've got the balls to stand up and do it, or they're just gonna fiddle around for 2 minutes and then go back to doing whatever else they're playing. Yeah, I'm going to get them engaged in that stuff, and that's how Xbox is going to be able to do something. I want them. First of all, we need them. We need them to do better, not do this last 4 years of absolute dog shit. I mean, 2021 I thought was a great year for them. The other 3 years were fucking awful, right? So, like, you know what I mean? I want them to do better because when they do better. PlayStation does better. Yes.
I'm going to ask you a tough
question.
And
then I got to run. I got to go make dinner.
Okay, yeah. Do you think they can do better with Phil in charge?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Straight.
Okay.
Nope. He needs to go.
Yeah.
It has been 10 years of wishy-washy bullshit. He needs to go. If I were above him, he wouldn't have even lasted 5. Because, and I'll tell you why. Hold on. I'll tell you why. What happens? Okay. Tell me this, Moss. What happens in sports? What happens in sports if your team?
The fish frost.
What happens if your team?
Listen, yep.
5 years. If I
fucking
gave you
Jets, they just let go of their coach. Just the quarter through the season.
Did they squeeze out that victory last night? I saw Aaron Rodgers with that weak ass fucking interception. That wasn't his fault though.
Yeah.
That one-handed grab. Did they lose? I can't.
Oh, they got destroyed, dude. 37 to. And I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm not a Steelers fan. I'm a Chiefs fan. That's why I was going to fuck with you about your Bills pictures. I'm a Chiefs fan.
Oh
But,
man, yesterday we were losing 10-0, and then Bill's got
they came back
35
and
unanswered
destroyed.
points.
Oh, fuck
Jesus
yeah.
Christ!
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name from Josh Allen must have got slapped across the side of the face in the locker room at halftime.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And they're like, "Wake the fuck up!"
Yeah.
So they're like, "Wake up and get out there!" And he went out there and destroyed. He got what? So, anyways, back to the thing. What would happen if the Buffalo Bills or the Pittsburgh Steelers or anybody else or Bayern Munich for cold blood? Okay, let's say they have 5 seasons of absolute dog shit. What would happen?
Yeah, they're fucking
the coach would be fired. Now this guy's been in there for 10 fucking years, and 10 years, and they have gone steadily down in 10 years. So yes, they're going up in different ways. They're like, oh well, engagement's up, this and that. Because you bought Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. My mother plays Candy Crush. You know what I mean? Like, that's why your engagement's up. Stop with the bullshit. Oh, engagement went up 300 million people. No, it didn't. It's because every soccer mom who's sitting around drinking fucking Zinfandel at 9 a.m. after they drop their kids off at school is sitting on the couch playing Candy Crush. So, you know what I mean? That's not Xbox. Give me a break. Anyway, the point is that yes, their engagement's up, they're making a shitload of money, but Xbox isn't. Microsoft is. Microsoft is making that money. Phil, I think his time has come. We need somebody else. It's not my fucking company. They need somebody else in there. Absolutely, and they need to move him out of there. And and it's not going to be Sarah Bond. Sarah Bond can't do it.
No,
I don't think she has. She does not have the leadership skills to take it in the direction it needs to go. And it's not because she's a woman or anything like that. Before anybody gets it twisted, it's got nothing to do with that shit. It's just got to do with the fact that the way that she carries herself very professionally and everything else, absolutely. But to take on that kind of role, I don't think she's ready for that.
I just don't think that she has. She's smart and she has a lot of attributes that can help behind the business stuff. But like how I jump on Hiroki Totoki for PlayStation, she doesn't. She's not acclimated to the gaming culture and the gaming consumer. I look at somebody that can pull it around. Possibly someone like a fucking Mike Ybarra, but he's doing the betting thing. You know what I mean?
Ybarra would have been great.
Yeah, like a Mike Ybarra or somebody that gets us and gets what we wanted. You know what I mean? But
did I tell you Ibarra added me on PlayStation? How funny is that shit?
Oh, did he?
Right? Yeah, he did. He added me. I was talking to him, and then he's like, "Oh, what's your place?" He goes, "What's your PlayStation handle?" And I go, "It's the same as Xbox." So Mike Ibarra added me on PlayStation, and I'm like,
next time you talk to him, say, "Hey, you know that MM2K guy? He really likes you." You know, me and him going back and forth online, and I fucked with him one time, and I told you the story. David Jaffe jumped in and shit, and I was just talking my shit. But I love Mike Ibarra. I wish he would have won that publicity war internally, and he would have been in charge instead of Phil. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know, there was a lot of shit talking behind the scenes too. He used to call out Phil and stuff like pretty open.
Yeah, we talked about
yeah. There's a couple of things that he said it in one of the. Apparently, he said it in one of the meetings where like they were talking about something like, "Hey, well, yeah, there's like these are the parameters for the new game, this and that, or whatever." And then Ibarra from the corner, he like squeaks out. He's like, "Oh, better not show any ankle, otherwise Phil's gonna be pissed." And he said it with Phil. And he said it with Phil in the room. So like the shit talking was already starting then, right? So and
Phil's not going to take that at all.
Yeah, and he's apparently Phil is a very conservative person when it comes to that stuff.
We had a mutual friend, and I won't say the friend. I may have said it. We had a mutual friend when he was talking shit a few years ago. The video's still on my channel. I know you got to go, Mag. But and he was talking shit on Phil, like, you know, throwing little shots out there. And I told him, I said, through this mutual friend, I said, let Ybarra know one day he's gonna walk into that Blizzard office. He's gonna be sipping his coffee. He's gonna be like, it's a great fucking day, and someone's gonna walk in and say, guess what? Xbox just bought us. I said, he better stop. Just tell him to chill out, because it happened to me professionally before. Like my nemesis ended up becoming my boss and made my life living hell at work. Yeah, so.
Yep, that's happened to me too. It's happening to me right now. And I am the top boss, but this is a boss above the boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's always a bigger fish.
There's always you got to report to somebody. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and even my business partner said to me, he said she keeps coming back like a fucking cockroach. Every time you think she's gone, she comes back in a different form, for Christ's sake. Like the fucking it's like the T2000 from Terminator 2. That liquid metal comes back with big arms, and then the next thing you know, comes back with giant swords for hands. Like it just the appearance keeps changing, but it's the same fucking evil. Yeah, I get it. Anyway, long story longer. He needs to go. and they need to make a change there. And I know it's going to sound so stupid because it feels like they're like reinventing themselves every 6 months.
Yeah,
and they're not giving like. But the thing is, it's almost like they're throwing everything at the wall, not one thing at the wall. They're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. And it's just it's showing a convoluted sort of business model, and that's why people are not gravitating towards it because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I'm not saying Xbox. The consumers are confused, and when the consumers are confused, that's a problem. That's when people are like, "What the fuck are they? What is happening here?" Like, I don't need a PowerPoint. Like, can you imagine? Like, you go to GameStop and some guy has to give you a PowerPoint presentation as to how it fucking. Like, he pulls out the whiteboard with his little laser pointer, and he's got to tell you how to operate, the Xbox and Game Pass and this. And the guy's gonna be like, "Dude, I just want to buy the fucking system and NHL 2024 for my kid or whatever, right?" Yep. Or I want to play Call of Duty with my friends. I don't give a fuck about all this stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? And all this, like, and so that's their convoluted business messages is what's really been fucking them over. And as a result of that, people are not gravitating towards it. And they're not latching on because it's not simplified and easy for the consumer to understand. I'm not saying consumers are stupid, but they want simplification.
They just want simplification. That's all it is. Shit, I mean, we do complicated stuff from 9 to 5. We can come on, we want to, kick our shoes off and everything be, relaxing. So,
Right. So that's why I think they need that new leader. They need a new leader in there with a straightforward message saying, this is what we're doing. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. And then he has to look at those teams and say, y'all better make some quality fucking shit. Because I'm going to be like, what's his face from Sony when he went to go see God of War the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And Barlog is sitting there going, what do you think, bro? And then he's like, this is fucking garbage. He's like, he's almost like threw it off the table. He's like, start it again. It's like Gordon Ramsay. It's like, this is garbage.
That meme with the panda that's smacking the keyboard. Yeah.
The salmon is burnt. You know what I mean? It was like basically he Gordon Ramsay'd his ass and said, start it over, and threw it off the table. They weren't going to accept it. And then what ended up happening, right? That's what's going to have to happen now. And these teams got to work with each other too, eh? They got to look at it. If, like I said, if Black Ops 6 is a hit, then the next team has to go, oh shit, they just released a banger. Guys, let's step it up because we're next, right? We're next. Let's keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Right? And if Indy Jones then Avowed Obsidian, they're going to have to be like, yo, guys, Black Ops 6 and Indy just hit. We're next. And the spotlight is very big on Xbox, right? It always is because they don't consistently release great products, so they don't get a pass from anybody, right?
Yeah.
So now Obsidian's gonna have to sit there and go, fuck, this game better hit. Because I don't want to be the one who kills the momentum.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be embarrassed? I'd be embarrassed. Yeah. So I'd be like, no, guys, this got to be a 90. This got to be a 90 meta or 85 meta, whatever you want it to be. And because of that, you know what I mean? Like, you work with each other. You work off each other. Doesn't make sense. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine? Like, it almost seems like they don't give a shit, or they're not being given leadership.
I talked about this, and it kind of borders the political. I think Xbox's problem, and I have no quarrel saying this as someone who has worked on diversity efforts and things like that. But I understand what organic diversity is about. I think Phil is too engulfed in the aesthetics of the company and not focused enough on the quality of the people that make that build up. You know what I mean?
Right. And when you have a guy who punches in and punches out with his little swipe card, maybe he or she is not looking at the big picture.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
That's where the big boss has to be looking at the big picture, saying, guys, we have 2 teams that knocked it out of the park. You're next. I want to see the product before it even goes gold. I want to play the whole thing. Like, for example, they got time now. What is it, October?
Yeah.
It's the end of October. You already know. I mean, if the content creators have already played Indy Jones, you goddamn well know that Phil's finished it, right? So if Phil's finished that, and he's finished Black Ops 6, obviously, because he's been playing it since August, and those are done. So now he's focusing on it's the end of October. Now he's got Obsidian in his sights. He's got 4 months to make sure that shit hits. It is his responsibility to go to them and say, guys, this ain't it. Or, great job. Let's tighten it up a little bit. Whatever, right? Shave off some of the fat, trim off some of the fat. Let's tighten this up a little bit, make it more cohesive experience so it doesn't drag or whatever else. That's what editing is for. Essentially, at this point, as a boss, you're an editor of a product. That's how it works. You have to
not
look at the
good at
big
that.
product, and you have to. He's not good at
You
it.
got that. You got to
He's
remember,
not
this is the
good at
guy
it.
that pulled Redfall off the shelf and said, "No, I'm going to introduce that."
Can you imagine
Where I
that
think-
was the one? That was the one more thing.
Yeah.
Like, are you
Yeah.
are you that out of?
Exactly.
That was the one more thing. That was the one
Yes.
more thing. If you're that out of touch,
Yes.
I think I'm not saying you're a bad person in the industry or
Yeah.
anything.
You're not,
else.
no, I don't think Phil's a bad person at all.
No, he's not. And even as a bad person, he's a good quality person in the industry. He's been in the industry for 30 years.
Mhm.
You know what? Maybe that role,
That
maybe
role, yeah.
like they gave it a shot.
Exactly.
They gave it a shot. Maybe this is just not him.
It's the role. It's the
It's just not. It's just not for him. I think that they give him the golden parachute at this point. I mean, the guy looks like fucking Obama after 8 years in office. Remember that shit?
He doing shit.
Remember when, like, you look at those before and after when Obama went in? He looks like a sweet summer child. No wrinkles on his face. He looks wonderful. He's got the big smile. And then when you see Obama come out of office, he looked like he'd been through
Yeah.
fucking World War III.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus, what happened to this motherfucker? White hair, wrinkles
Yeah.
everywhere, chain smoking behind the fucking Oval Office. Like, he was fucking beat up. And that's what Phil Spencer looked
Yeah.
like at the Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he did.
as soon as I
He
saw him,
did.
I go, motherfucker, looks
did.
like Obama. Look at him.
He did.
I'm like, Obama after years, he's done. Phil Spencer's destroyed. It's like he looked like shit. So like, maybe it's time. And then you got to give it a new direction. I'm not saying change what the teams are doing. You can't. But maybe change the message and the focus and the leadership. Maybe that'll give them the injection that they require in order to be able to give PlayStation, I don't know, a tiny bit of competition so that they can, so that PlayStation can stay on their toes. Otherwise, and I'm not saying PlayStation is releasing bad stuff. They're not. They had a quality year, even though only one game was first party. The rest of the games were fucking stellar. And when everybody talks about Game of the Year, 3 of those games are going to be PlayStation exclusives this year: Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy Rebirth, and Wukong. Right? You can't play those anywhere else. So I don't give a fuck if people are like, oh, it's not a first party game. Well, it is when you can't get it anywhere else, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? That's what ends up happening. So you've done it. So they got the quality. However, you want them to stay on their toes a little bit more and maybe push those teams to release things a little faster. Like, oh shit, guys, Xbox is ramping up here. Can we get some fucking trailers put together? Can we get some vertical slices of what Naughty Dog's working on or whatever else, right?
Yeah.
That's how you build that, competition breeds excellence, right? And so that I want Xbox to succeed. They're just not under Phil Spencer.
No.
And I'll leave it at that.
Yep. Right. I mean, I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that at all. Mag, thank you for coming through as always, brother. Like I said, the door's always open.
Wait, I got a question. Wait. I got a question for him.
All right, go for it.
Regarding Black Ops 6,
Yeah.
do you think it's fair for PlayStation users that they don't get a platinum trophy for it?
Whoa. There's no platinum?
Nope.
Oh,
Just
fuck
like
that.
Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 had none.
See, that's bullshit because Modern Warfare 3, yeah, you're right. Modern Warfare 3 didn't have a platinum, and that pissed me off. I'm like, whoa. Why did I pay money for this? You're not giving me a platinum because it was considered part of that, what was it? It falls under the Call of Duty umbrella. And then it was like, you know how you could like go down to the library of each game? But why aren't you giving a platinum? And that was the number one complaint from last year. I'm absolutely shocked because a lot of people wrote in to Activision and said, what the fuck, man? Why aren't we getting a platinum trophy? And then they turned around and those tone-deaf motherfuckers didn't give another one this year too? This is the first time hearing of it. Oh, well, fuck them. They're gonna hear. They're gonna hear from me directly. They're gonna hear from me direct. I'm not that I could change it, but at the same time, I could get people on their case. I'd be like, "Hey guys, what the fuck are you doing? That's insane. No, that's stupid. That's really stupid."
Like, bro, this shit is considered DLC to Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, like what are you? I don't understand it. Like even Modern Warfare 3 is a separate game, wasn't it? So why did they put it as? But the funny thing on the PlayStation, it showed up as a DLC. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, I misunderstood. I was just trying to reiterate what you're saying. Yeah. So it showed up as a DLC under Modern Warfare 2. You're right. And so as a result of that, what the fuck does this fall under now? Would this be a DLC under Black Ops 5 under Cold War?
No, Modern Warfare 2.
Can you imagine? Yeah, it's insanity. That's so stupid. That's it. That's idiotic. That pisses me off. Yeah. So to answer the question, I'm pissed. I don't think that's right. They need to fix that, and it's a simple fix. You know what I mean? Once all the trophies, it's very easy to program that once you unlock all trophies, a platinum will unlock. They can easily patch that in. The fact that they haven't done that is fucking insane. Considering that I think the majority of players are going to be on PlayStation anyway. So, anyways, I'll leave it at that.
Good stuff is always crazy stuff, but good stuff is always, man.
Yeah, that was fun. Sorry, I had to get in there. I had to like talk for a bit, man. I had to get it out.
No, that's fine, man. That's you know I love you, Mag, except for the Bills attire. You gotta burn that shit now.
We'll see you in the playoffs.
I was gonna fuck with you too, but I fell asleep. I hit my phone. I was like, oh, this mother, because I was just watching the Steelers game. And I was like, this motherfucker's a Bills fan. Oh shit.
Hey, what am I supposed to do? I've been a Bills fan since the 80s. It's not gonna change now.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, I've been a Steelers fan since the early 90s. I mean, not a Steelers, a Chiefs fan. And you get shit in Pittsburgh for that. Oh, I was tortured. And just like how you guys suffered the back-to-back Super Bowls, I've suffered because we couldn't even win a game in the playoffs and shit. So
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, it's all love. It's all friendly.
Yeah, I was there all for all 4 Super Bowl losses. All four in a row. I watched it.
Yeah, Jim Kelly, Andre Reed.
Poor guy.
Killer guys.
Poor guy. And you know what's funny? Where I was sitting in the stands, I looked to my right and I saw Jim Kelly's retired number on the wall, and I'm like, poor Jim. I'm like, the poor dude.
You never know, man. AFC's up for grabs as far as I'm concerned. You never know. So
yeah, I know. Well, we'll see this year, but anyways, boys, I got to run.
Right,
so
we got to get out of here too. Thank you, Mag. Appreciate it. Hey guys, we're gonna get out of here. Be on the lookout for our video, and until next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.
All right, later, everybody.